All right. I am live. We have the Kansas City Chiefs against the Las Vegas Raiders. I tuned in late. My apologies, but I'm here now. Patrick Mahomes under center is second in goal. Second and goal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes under center. Fakes a handoff to Pacheco. Scrambles around. Throws the ball away at the back of the end zone. Throws the ball away in the back of the end zone. Folks, I tuned in late. I apologize. The circumstances beyond my control. But I'm here now. I am here now. Getting ready to talk a little Chiefs Raiders. I'm going to go ahead and do a check here to make sure I am good to go. I am good to go on Facebook. I, of course, am good to go on YouTube. And it is third down. Patrick Mahomes in shotgun formation. Gerald McKinnon to his right, and there is a flag on the play against the Raiders. It's going to be closer to it's going to be half the distance, but not an automatic first down. It's 12 men on the field. So it's going to be it's going to be a third and goal from the 2-yard line. Patrick Mahomes in shotgun formation, trips to the left, 3 tight ends lined up as wide receiver. Patrick Mahomes scrambles to his left. He's going to scramble, pitch pass to McKinnon for the touchdown. Touchdown, Kansas City. Yes. Jimmy says he's got some friends coming on soon, but I'll hang till they get here. That is fantastic news. Jimmy, I apologize to you and your friends. I was late. It was circumstances beyond my control. I might be 30, 40 seconds behind. I'm here on YouTube TV, so I am good to go. I'm going to go ahead and jump back to comments whenever I can. I was a little late, so I apologize in advance. But the Chiefs have jumped out to a 7-0 lead. For those of you who do not know, with 381 yards passing today, Patrick Mahomes will break the single-season record held by Peyton Manning. And I jumped late. We missed some good highlights. A long pass by Mahomes. And Josh Jacobs, who has a very solid lead on the NFL rushing title. Basically, all he needs to do is just play. However, he missed a couple days this week due to personal issues. I believe he is going to play. So I tuned in right when you got on, so all good. Jimmy, I'm glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here. It's a little embarrassing to set up a live stream and then show up late, but hey, it is what it is. Normally what I will do is I will have DraftKings on and give you highlights of the other scores, but this is the only game in town. So during the commercial breaks, I'm going to answer questions, read over comments. It's going to be a lot of fun here as we talk Chiefs Raiders. For those of you who are not aware, the Chiefs with a win would clinch the 1 seed. The Chiefs with a win would clinch the 1 seed. However, depending on what happens tomorrow, will determine if the Chiefs have the opportunity for home field advantage. It's a very, very unusual situation, something unprecedented in the NFL. So we have to tune in tomorrow to see if Kansas City, with a win, if they indeed get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, because they will get with a win today. With a win today, the Kansas City Chiefs do lock up the 1 seed, but they do not lock up home field advantage. So very excited to be here. Very excited to be here. We are live. Do a little advertising here. With 381 passing yards, Patrick Mahomes would break Peyton Manning's single season record for most passing yards in a season. Of course, Manning did it in 16 games, not 17, but that's what we have. As play resumes here, it looks like the Chiefs are kicking off to the Raiders. They are going left to right on your screen. Jared McKinnon, 7 consecutive games with a reception for a touchdown. NFL, modern day NFL record. Modern day NFL record. There is lots of red in Allegiant Stadium. This is definitely, looking at it, it looks like it's 60% red. It looks like a Chiefs home game. Butker kicks off, and it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 25 as the Raiders go ahead and let the ball go into the end zone. Now we can see Jared Stidham in his second NFL start. His first NFL start was against the San Francisco 49ers, and he had a fantastic game. The former fourth-round pick out of Auburn has a lot of athleticism, and we'll see how it works today. So it's going to be 1st and 10, going left to right on your screen. He lines up under center. Fakes a handoff to Jacobs, goes back to pass, drops it off to Moreau for a 1st down. He may just be short of the 1st down. It's right at the 35-yard line. Depends on where they mark it. It could be 1st and 10 or 2nd 1. They are moving the sticks. It's actually going to be 1st and 10, and the Raiders will huddle. And you're going to see this today. The Raiders are going to huddle. They're going to try to eat the clock. You're going to see a lot of ball control from the Raiders. Jared Stidham also under center. The Raiders under center, Josh Jacobs by himself, 2 tight ends. Handoff to Jacobs, stays inside. Hit and taken down by Gay after a gain of 5. And there's some pushing and shoving between Devontae Adams and Justin Reed, but it's quickly broken up. Here. The Raiders are huddling. You're going to see this. The Raiders are in no hurry to play fast unless they have to. Official word 2nd and 6. You're going to see Stidham in shotgun formation. Waller's at the bottom of the screen. 3 wide receivers to the top. Devontae Adams motions down from top to bottom. Shotgun snap. Safety blitz by the Kansas City Chiefs. Stidham, nice play, avoiding the rush. Scrambles for a 1st down, a gain of 7. Very nice run. What they did is that the Kansas City Chiefs brought the blitz. And when they brought the blitz, Stidham had his eyes downfield, looking to throw. Everybody was covered, just scrambled for a gain of 7 and a 1st down. Very, very nice play by Jared Stidham and the Las Vegas Raiders early on. So we're going to have 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. The 47-yard line. Handoff to Jacobs, who's going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Justin Thornhill and a safety blitz comes in. And it looks like it's a loss of 1. So the Raiders had the ball in 47. Now it's the 46. Actually, they're moving it back to the 45. So it's going to be 2nd and 12. Josh Jacobs has 1,612 yards rushing. Nick Chubb with 1,448 is in 2nd. Derrick Henry at 1,429 is in 3rd. So more than likely, Josh Jacobs is going to be the NFL rushing leader unless something dramatic happens. Play action pass. Stidham back to pass. Wants to go deep. Scrambles up and does not slide. Hits Trent McDuffie, the Chiefs' 1st-round pick out of Washington. It's going to be 3rd and short. A very nice scramble by Stidham. What happened is it was a play-action pass. It looked like he was trying to go deep. The Chiefs had everybody covered. Stidham just runs forward for the 1st down. Does not want to slide. McDuffie tries for the strip. Doesn't work, but it's going to be 3rd and 2. So Stidham with some really, really high athleticism. Lines up in shotgun. Josh Jacobs is going to be to his left. It's 3rd and short here in Chiefs territory. Play action pass to Jacobs and a beautiful back shoulder throw. Wow, this was a nice throw and catch to to Davante Adams for a first down. Davante Adams was covered. You just can't do anything there. It's a beautiful throw in stride for a first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory from the 32-yard line. Stidham, Adams. Man, what? And on that play, Davante Adams, 1,456 yards receiving, Raiders single season receiving record. Great job, Davante Adams. So it's going to be 1st and goal on Chiefs territory. I'm sorry, 1st and 10, Chiefs territory on the 32. Play action pass to Stidham. Back. He goes deep. He's going deep in the end zone. He throws in a double coverage, but it goes past Adams, and L'Jarius Sneed's down on the ground, but he quickly gets up. So what they've been doing is they have double coverage on Adams, but he was able to get his hands on the ball. So even though the Chiefs were in double coverage, Adams did have an opportunity to make a play here. And what I really like what the Raiders are doing here, they're lining up Stidham under center, doing a lot of play action. They're doing a lot of running. It's a lot of 1-2 quick reads, and then Stidham's using his athleticism. He's lined up in shotgun, 4 wide receivers. It's a little slip screen to Renfro, sneaks ahead for a gain of 5. Nice play call by the Raiders so far. The Raiders are doing making things pretty simple for Stidham. A lot of quick throws, a lot of 1-2 reads, and then he's going ahead and using his athleticism to run the ball. This is going to be an interesting third down here. It's going to be 3rd and 6 here from the 28.5-yard line. So the Raiders are in field goal range here. But, of course, when you play against Kansas City Chiefs, you really want to get touchdowns. You don't want to get field goals. So it's going to be a shotgun formation. Waller's at the bottom of the screen, 3 wide receivers to the top. They've replaced Josh Jacobs with Amir Abdullah, and it's a sack. Chris Jones just blasts right through there. He is unstoppable when he wants to be. Chris Jones on the sack, and this is going to be a tough one because this is going to be a very long field goal. And here's the drill here. It was just one-on-one coverage. They were trying to block Chris Jones one-on-one. That was a mistake. He just blew right by the guy. So this is going to be a very long field goal here for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm trying to find out the exact yardage. It's going to be a 54-yard attempt within Daniel Carlson's range. The kick is up, and it is good. So the long field goal is made. It was a 54-yard attempt for you fantasy football people. It is now 7-3 with 7:15 left in the first quarter. So early on, this is going to be a fun game, man. This is going to be a fun game here. So let's get to the comments here. Are you placing bets live on DraftKings? The answer is no. I should, and I do have my phone here, but I'm just going to concentrate on play-by-play. I want to do the best possible job I can despite tuning in late. My boy Tim tunes in, says Raiders are trash. So I tuned in the game this first 2 minutes. What happened? Funk, I'm embarrassed to admit this. I missed first 2 minutes. Here's what happened. Mahomes went deep and got into, I believe it was a 50-yard completion. And the Chiefs are now up 7-3. So the Chiefs have a touchdown reception. Jared McKinnon set an NFL record. It is 8 consecutive games with a receiving touchdown. So by a running back, that is an NFL record. He's the one who caught the touchdown pass. The Raiders just kicked a 54-yard field goal, so it's 7-3. Amazement 717. What's up, Dan? Yes. Amazement. What is up, brother? McKinnon happened. Yes. So ultimately, what does this game mean to the Chiefs? Here's the key. Amazement. The Chiefs can clinch the number 1 seed. Not home field advantage. They can clinch home field tomorrow, but what they need a win. They need a win to get the 1 seed. So the Chiefs can clinch the 1 seed, not home field advantage. I think this secures the 1 seed. That is correct. I put a prop bet on McKinnon too. He's been a touchdown machine. If you put a McKinnon prop bet, you collected. You did win. So it's a neutral field. Yes. So what happens is, now here's where it gets tricky, and I'm going to go over all of this Friday on my live stream. If the Bills lose to the Patriots, Sunday. If the Bills lose to the Patriots, the Chiefs do have the 1 seed. But if the Bills win and the Chiefs win and the Bills play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, it will be on a neutral site. Most likely, it's going to be the Indianapolis Lucas Oil Stadium. It's going to be played in Indianapolis. So that's kind of what you're looking at. Okay, so what happened? Mahomes happened. Long pass. Mahomes got the ball and just went right downfield for the first possession. Second possession, the Raiders went right down the field. Came very close to completing the third down, but Chris Jones sack put him back for a long field goal. So we're now at 7-3. Adams was talking like he wanted to stay in Vegas in his interview. Now, he's getting paid a lot of money. So 14 sacks on the year for Chris Jones, just a fantastic season. Amazement. I saw him say he wanted to be a Raider before Carr went there. So we have a kickoff here. They're going to kick off to the Kansas City Chiefs. Pacheco is getting fair catch signal, so the Chiefs are going to start off on the 25-yard line. When play resumes, we're going to have Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, the NFL MVP, back on the field. Bengals, I think, got the bad end of the scenario. In my opinion, sucks. They're hot coming in the game. I agree. In my personal opinion, I think the NFL did this perfectly, except for one. I'm going to get back to that in a moment. Shotgun formation, Mahomes, quick snap, drop off to Kelsey for a gain of 6. I'm going to touch base on this during the next commercial break, but it looks like we're going to have 2nd and 4 here. The Kansas City Chiefs are huddling people. You're going to see a lot of different formations from the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to see some basic offense by the Raiders, a very complex offense for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be 2nd and 3 right here. Mahomes is in shotgun formation, 2 tight ends to the left, 2 wide receivers, handoff to Ronald Jones, who just entered the game. Right up the middle, and it looks like he's going to be short by an eyelash here. He got 3 yards, but depending on where they're motioning, it's going to be 3rd and short. It's going to be 3rd and probably the width of a football here, so a very short 3rd and 1. For the Kansas City Chiefs, a nice appearance by Ronald Jones, who's been getting some playing time late in the season. Good thing for the Kansas City Chiefs. There is a lot of red in Allegiant Stadium. Mahomes is under center. Handoff to on the end around to Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney gets the first down. So the Raiders are trying to indicate that it's a 4th down because he went backwards before momentum got him the first down. It was just a jet sweep, quick jet sweep to Kadarius Toney. And Andy Reid, 10 straight winning seasons and 7 straight AFC West titles in Kansas City. That's not bad. 10 years in Kansas City, 10 straight winning seasons, 7 straight AFC West titles. Not bad. Mahomes is under center. Handoff to Ronald Jones on the right side. Bounces off a tackle and pushes forward for about a yard. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage. Bounced forward for a gain of 1, maybe 2. 1, maybe 2. They're taking Kelsey out of the game. Ronald Jones is going to stay in. We're going to have Juju, MVS, and Watson. We're going to line up. Patrick Mahomes is going to be under center. About 7 yards behind him is going to be Ronald Jones. Justin Watson to the left. The others to the right. Play action. Little screen to Noah Gray. He gets to the 45, almost to midfield. It's going to be for a first down. Brilliant play call. The way it was designed is that Justin Watson was to the bottom of the screen. Juju, Noah Gray, and MVS was to the top. Just a quick screen to Noah Gray for a first down at midfield. Just followed his blocks. And, man, early on, the Chiefs' offense is humming. Kelsey and Gray to the bottom. Pacheco's now in the backfield replacing Ronald Jones. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the 49. Shotgun formation. Mahomes back to pass. Wants to go deep. Goes deep. And this is going to be is this going to be a penalty to MVS? MVS wants a flag. Looks like it should be a flag. But the Raiders I think the Raiders kind of luck out here. MVS still complaining to the official. Trevor Morrig, the safety out of TCU, Hits him early. There's no debate on that. You can just debate that he's going to the ball. What it is that the ball was thrown perfectly to MVS. Moe comes in, busts everything up, and I think it should have been a penalty, but Raiders get away with one. Pacheco gets a shotgun snap, powers forward for a gain of 8. He's hit after 5, corkscrews his way for an additional 3 yards. The rookie out of Rutgers just runs hard. What a great addition for the Kansas City Chiefs. 7th-round pick out of Rutgers is the Chiefs' leading rusher and adds a level of physicality, also returns kicks. So we're going to be at 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2. Pacheco is going to stay in there. Current drive, 7 plays, 33 yards, and 3:40 taken off the clock as the first quarter's come to an end. Mahomes back to pass here, and when I say coming back to an end, there's 3 minutes left. It's kind of misleading there. Incompletion there. Mahomes and Kelsey were not able to connect. It's going to be 4th and 2. It looked like the Chiefs were thinking about going for it. However, the Chiefs are going to punt. They're showing a replay of this, and it looks like what they're trying to do is just get a quick turnaround with Kelsey. Mahomes and Kelsey just weren't on the same page. Ball was thrown a little more to the inside. It would have been a completion. Mahomes knows it. Kelsey knows it. So even if this would be a 56-yard field goal, I'm kind of surprised the Chiefs didn't go for this. Instead, they're in a punt. But they get the ball inside the 5, a very nice pooch punt here. So with 3:25 left in the first quarter, the Raiders will get the ball inside their own 5-yard line. The Chiefs are up 7-3. All right, so let's talk about this for a little bit since we're on commercial break. The Bengals, I think, got the bad end of the scenario. My opinion sucks because they were hot coming into the game. All right, so here's the drill. I think the NFL handled everything perfectly except for this. I think that it should have been called. You weren't able to resume the game. The Bengals were up 7-3. I thought it should have been a 7-3 win. That way you can get rid of all these neutral site games. And then you also allow the people that bet on the game to have a result instead of just everything being null and void. I think it should have been called. I think the Bengals should have gotten a 7-3 victory. I agree with you, Amazement. They did get the short end of the stick, in my opinion. The way it works is that if Buffalo and Cincinnati both win and one of them beats Kansas City, that game will also be at a neutral site. There is also a possibility that if the Ravens beat the Bengals tomorrow, even though the Bengals would win the AFC North, they would actually flip a coin to figure out who plays at home. That is also another possibility. Whatever happened to CEH, he's on IR. He should be ready to come back for the playoffs, but the Chiefs have really enjoyed using the 3-headed monster of Isaiah Pacheco as number 1 guy, McKinnon the number 2, and then Ronald Jones is increasing his workload, and he's doing a fantastic job. So I really like that situation so far for the for the Kansas City Chiefs. Amazement, they should have made them finish the game. I mean, the Lions player got hurt this year. Savory Smith injury is scary that his father got outstands to ride in an ambulance with him, and the field of play was stopped for a long time. You know, Funk, I remember, I want to quote you 1982. And Ken Anderson's head was grabbed by the face mask and it was pulled 270, a 270-degree angle. It started here and ended up here. They flew a helicopter on the field. You see players wearing visors due to that injury. They flew a helicopter. As soon as the helicopter left airspace, they just resumed the game. 30, 40 years ago, they would have resumed the game. Today, it's a different era. As we resume play, the Chiefs under Patrick Mahomes has been 16-3 against the Raiders. So we resume play. It's going to be at the 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10. It's going to be a snap under center and a vicious hit. Willie Gay just put the lumber on here, but got a gain of 1. And they're showing the play here, the 3rd down play. And it looks like what the Chiefs are trying to – oh, boy, the Chiefs had – oh, boy. Oh, the Chiefs had Juju deep on that one. That's a tough one. You see a lot of love for Lamar, number 3. Shirts being worn by Eric Bieniemy, Chiefs offensive coordinator. Stidham back to pass. Nice drop off to Hollins, who springs forward, and nobody touched him, so he gets up and continues to run, and he's tackled down. The Chiefs are pointing that when he slid down, he should have been, but nobody touched him, so he wisely got up for an additional 5 yards. This is a great play. So what happened is Hollins went ahead and dove down at the 20. Nobody touched him, got up, and ran for another 10 yards. So it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Great play by Ryan Hollins. This was a guy who, special teams player, and they are going to rule him down at the 18. So when he gave himself up. And I thought that was the rule, but nice effort by Ryan Hollins, former special team player, now a starter for the Raiders, doing an excellent job. They're lining up here, a standard I formation. Actually, it'd be a offset I. Under center, broken play here. So there was a play action, but Jacobs was supposed to go to the left. Stidham went to the right. They bumped into each other. The Chiefs had a blitz, so it ends up being a 8-yard loss on the sack here. A nice play by Kansas City Chiefs. Excuse me. So as they were doing the play action pass, the Chiefs brought the blitz, or a loss of 8. It's going to be 2nd and 18 on the 10-yard line. We're not lined up in the shotgun formation. 1:20 left in the first quarter. Josh Jacobs is to Stidham's right. Waller and Hollins is to the top of the screen. Adams is to the bottom. Stidham's back to pass. He's in his own end zone. Goes deep to Hollins, intercepted by Thornhill. Thornhill, diving interception, rolls out of bounds. This was not smart. They're showing highlights of the Raiders fans. They're just grimacing because this was a bad throw. He went ahead and went to Ryan Hollins. Ryan Hollins was double covered. They're showing a replay here. This was really bad. Watson did have his hands on him, but considering what happened with Trevor Moehrig earlier, I'm not going to be too hard on the refs. It looks like they're letting them play in the secondary. That's an advantage for the Kansas City Chiefs, who like to play physical in the secondary. So when play resumes, Kansas City will get the ball around midfield. Excellent field position, up 7-3 with a minute left in the first. My idea was to give every team a week off, then resume games a week from now, and have the Bills-Bengals game this Monday night instead. You can't do that, Amazement. And the reason why is that by doing that, you have to push everything back. And now keep in mind, there are 2 weeks between the AFC and NFC championship games and the Super Bowl. You could squish that to a week, but the NFL doesn't want to do that. They want to take advantage of the media, the gambling markets. I mean, let's face it, Super Bowl, those 2 weeks are billion-dollar winners, are billion-dollar money makers for the casino. So you can't push it back. This was earlier in the year. You would have been able to make it up during the bye week. You can't give everybody a week off, because the one thing you can't reschedule is the Super Bowl, and the NFL absolutely does not want to give. They want the 2 weeks. So due to logistics, you can't push everything back. In a perfect world, what you're saying makes sense, but you can't push the Super Bowl back, unfortunately. Plus, a while back, the guy actually had a die. Lions actually had a guy. I'm gonna try to read this again correctly, because reading is hard. Plus, a while back, the Lions actually had a guy die from a heart attack during the game, and they finished that game. Yes, and what he's referring to is I think it was 1973 or 1972, a Lions receiver actually died on the field. This is a player actually died on the football field. They did finish the game. In 1982, when Ken Anderson, I'm quoting you 82, but I may be wrong on the year. I believe 3 years later, I want to say 1985, Joe Theismann's injury, the broken leg on Monday Night Football, that was brutal. They finished the game. I'm telling you this right now, Funk, 30, 40 years ago, they finished the game. It's not even a question. Could they have done it? The answer is yes. It would not be easy. I think the NFL did do the right thing by calling the game. I just think they should have called it 7-3. So we have play resume. I'm going to answer all your comments in the first quarter. It's going to be Chiefs ball in Raiders territory on 41. They fake a reverse. Mahomes goes downfield to the 20. It's Juju Smith-Schuster catching the ball at the 20, squirts forward for another 5 yards. It's going to be Chiefs ball inside the red zone, 1st and 10 on the 15. Great play call. What happened is the Raiders went ahead, did a fake the double blitz, and they went back. Juju just snuck right in behind him. And it looks early on the Chiefs are trying to get that Mahomes single-season passing record. It's going to be 1st and 10. Mahomes 6 out of 9 for 117 yards and a touchdown. 1st and 10, split back. Kadarius Toney's lined up as a running back. It fakes. It's an old-school counter for Kadarius Toney. Squirts forward. Oh, my God. What a nice play. Squirts forward is at the 2-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kadarius Toney. So what it was just a counter. It was a nice window dressing counter. Kadarius Toney made some nice moves. He was first hit at the 5-yard line, corkscrewed his way to the 2. So the first quarter comes to an end. The Chiefs will have the ball 1st and goal at the 2-yard line as the first quarter comes to an end. We are 7-3 Kansas City. Amazement. The problem is with the Super Bowl, everything is in place. Yeah, you can't move the Super Bowl. You can move a lot of things around. You can't move the Super Bowl. That's just the logistics. Everything involved with that is just way too much. But I'm gonna tell you something though. Amazement. What you're proposing makes a lot of sense. You see, Jags put a number 3 on their field for tonight's game for Hamlin, but they actually had a former player that's passed away, and they didn't do anything for him. I'll be honest. I kind of like how they're all kind of rallying behind it, but yeah, there's a lot of things you could see a rally behind. I remember a Chiefs player committed suicide, but it was a murder suicide. This happened in 2012. Very dark day. So the Chiefs did a moment of silence for a domestic violence, and I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was really brilliant what the Kansas City Chiefs did. So, I mean, all these things. But I kind of like how everybody's kind of, kind of rallying behind Hamlin. His charity, his goal is to get 25,000. He ended up getting 2 million or something like that. And I really like that, what they've been doing. Chuck Hughes was the player. Yeah, this was I want to quote you, 73, may have been 72. 30, 40 years ago, Funk, they play the game. It's a different time, different era. Man, I hope Seattle loses tomorrow so the Packers can have some extra juice to it. I want to see both teams fighting for a playoff slot. It makes for a better game. And for those of you who are not familiar, Green Bay will play Detroit Sunday night. If Seattle wins, Detroit is eliminated from the playoffs, and then the game is only a win and in for Green Bay. If Seattle loses, the winner is going to be the winner is in and the loser stays home. But it all depends on what happens with Seattle. Most total yards in a season is by Drew Brees in 2011, 5,562. Mahomes has 5,500, so it's 62 total yards. Patrick Mahomes will obtain a record. And then it looks like with another, I don't have the number here in front of me, but I'm going to quote you about 268. He'll have the single season passing record. Play resumes here. Mahomes is in shotgun formation, handoff to Ronald Jones right up the middle, and it's a touchdown. Touchdown, Kansas City! Oh, man, Ronald Jones' first touchdown of the season. He is jacked up. He was very excited. For those of you who are not familiar, Ronald Jones requested a trade because he was inactive. The Chiefs denied him, and they kept him around for this reason. So it's 13-3 pending the extra point. I'm going to get back to everybody's comments. Everybody who joined in, I cannot thank you enough. This is one of my favorite things to do is just hang out and talk football. And right now it looks like it's a nice the Kansas City Chiefs are playing really, really well. Kansas City Chiefs offense is really on fire right now. When the Chiefs offense plays this good and they play at this level, they really are unstoppable. I know it's a homer thing to say, but you have I have a hard time believing somebody else is going to be NFL MVP besides Mahomes. So Mahomes in his early career has thrown for 5,000 yards twice. Folks, he's only 26. He is only 26. And some of the stuff that they're showing is Mahomes for MVP. And that's kind of what you have to look at right now. I think that Mahomes being MVP is the only thing that really makes sense. He's putting up some phenomenal numbers. Amazement. So I think we might see a week next year between week 18 and the playoffs, just in case the game needs to be made up. They're actually going to make some changes. They are going to make some changes. They're going to increase medical personnel at games. They're going to put more contingency plans in play just in case something like this happens again. It's unprecedented territory. There was a long time ago, and I couldn't tell you when, the NFL tried 2 bye weeks. They ended up just sticking with 1, but that's another possibility. So we're going to kick off here. Butker back to kick. Butker with the strong leg. This is actually going to be returnable. Amir Adola is going to take the ball right at the end zone. Squirts up to the 20 and gets tackled at the 24-yard line. Amir Adola trying to make a play. I always like it. And there's some pushing and shoving between the Chiefs and the Raiders. So we got some old school pushing and shoving. The camera turned away from it. So early on, there's been a couple times where the Chiefs and Raiders have gotten into it, a little old school rivalry. The Raiders at 6-10, of course, are not in the playoff picture. The Chiefs with a win do clinch the 1 seed, but have to wait till tomorrow to see if they can get home field advantage. So we got 1st and 10 going left to right here. Jared Stidham's having a pretty good game so far, except for that bad interception. He's under center. They're motioning Devontae Adams from top to bottom on the screen. Waller's lined up at the line of scrimmage in the 3-point stance. Hand off to Josh Jacobs, a pitch to the outside. And Kansas Chiefs are all over this. Rookie Leo Chenal makes the tackle for a 1-yard loss. And the Chiefs read this perfectly. Josh Jacobs is limping a little bit. He does not look 100% at all. And when he took the pitch, he looked like he was trying to cut inside. He doesn't look 100%, so he's kind of gutting it through. Give Josh Jacobs a lot of credit for gutting it through. He does not look 100%. They're lined up right here. Looks like it's shotgun formation. Jacobs is still in the game. Devontae Adams to the bottom of the screen. Waller and Hollins and Renfro to the top. Motion Renfro. Back to pass Stidham and shotgun. Nice pass by Waller. Gets away from the tight end up the midfield. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Raiders. This is not smart by the Kansas Chiefs. So what happened was Kansas Chiefs put their linebacker one-on-one against Waller and was thinking that would work. Number 47 for the Kansas Chiefs. He's a backup linebacker, really didn't have much of a chance. Been playing really well this year. Been playing really well. It's Harris. He's a backup linebacker, not one of the starting 3, but it's been playing quite a bit, and key special teams contributor. He's on the field with Leo Chenal and Michael Bolton. It looks like Willie Gay is out right now. Play action pass for Stidham. Stidham runs into the pocket to the 50, to the 45, powers for a 1st down, does not believe in sliding. And that's what you see out of the young kid, Jared Stidham's last game of the year. He's not doing any of this sliding stuff. He's just going for it and gets the 1st down. If he would have slid, he would have been about a yard short, just put his shoulder down and ran right into Michael Bolton and Nick Bolton and got the 1st down here. So it's going to be they are now in Chiefs territory on the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Stidham is in shotgun formation. Josh Jacobs is to his right. Handoff to Jacobs up the middle, squirts forward to the 40 for a gain of 3. I really like the way Stidham's playing. The Raiders are not doing anything overly creative. They're usually using some motion and shifting, but it's a pretty basic bare bones offense. You're seeing a lot of runs and you're seeing a lot of play action passes, and they're really taking advantage of Stidham's athleticism early on. Stidham's playing a really good game, not on Mahomes level, but he's playing a really good game. It's going to be 2nd and 7 on the 40. They are in Chiefs territory, so with another couple of yards, you may be in field goal range. Remember, earlier, the Raiders did kick a 54-yard field goal. So play action pass here. Stidham gets to the outside, being chased by Kalifdis. Gets away from Kalifdis. Gets a gain of – it's going to be interesting where they mark this. They're going to mark this on the 36-yard line. So it's a gain of 4. So nice play by Stidham here. If you're not familiar with Jared Stidham, former 4th-round pick out of Auburn, first 3 years he spent with New England. When McDaniels came over to the Raiders traded for Stidham. McDaniels and Stidham do have a good relationship. It's going to be 3rd and 2 here, and they may need to call a timeout. It's 1, it's 0, and the play just gets off. Nice completion to Devontae Adams for a first down. It's going to be a 5-yard gain. Very nice play. It looked like it was going to be a delay of game. And what happened is this was a nice play. It was a nice one-on-one route. Adams had what's called an option route. So he had the option to go inside or outside. The Chiefs brought a blitz, and Adams and Stidham made the right call. So it's going to be first down at the Chiefs 28. Adams, 2 receptions, 21 yards early on. Handoff under center goes to Jacobs. Jacobs bounces outside to the left for a nice gain. Picks up a gain of it looks like a gain of 7 as he squirts almost to the 20. Very nice play call by the Raiders. Again, nothing overly complicated what the Raiders are doing offensively, but they are doing a really nice job in execution. The plan is to run the ball, play action pass, and use Stidham's athleticism. This is a nice formation here. The Raiders that last play used 6 offensive linemen. Here you have a fullback and Jacobs in the backfield. Jacobs going to move forward. It looks like he's going to be short by about a yard. 3rd and 1. So what it was is that they had there was a shotgun formation. The fullback was to Stidham's right, Jacobs to the left, and what they did is he just hesitated for a second, gave the handoff to Jacobs. Very simple. They're just doing some simple plays here, nothing overly complicated. It's going to be 3rd and 1 here. Earlier this year against the Chiefs, Jacobs had 154 yards rushing, so they look like that they're going to try to recreate that. By the way, the Raiders were up in that game, but the Chiefs came back to win a 30-29 game week 5 in the season. So this handoff here was Jacobs just squirts forward for a gain of 2 here. It is going to be a first down. Again, nothing complex. This was just a simple, just hand the ball off, just goes right off tackle and gets a gain of 2. The Chiefs did have some penetration, but weren't able to get Jacobs down as Jacob motions first down. 8 carries, 15 yards for Josh Jacobs. Again, nothing overly complicated. It's going to be trips right. Jared Stidham's in shotgun formation. Amir Abdullah is going to take over and motioning for the snap. It's at 0. There is no penalties. The play gets off. A completion to Abdullah. Makes a nice move and gets a first down. He did have Willie Gay. Willie Gay had him for a possible stop, gain of 5. Abdullah spins away and gets a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Raiders. And this was just really nice here. And Stidham was looking to his right. Everything was covered. Amir Abdullah was not. Could have been tackled for a short gain, spun forward for an additional 8 yards. 1st and goal for the Raiders on the 7-yard line. We're going to have Stidham under center. Josh Jacobs returns here. 2 tight ends for the Raiders. Handoff to Jacobs, and he's going to power forward for a gain of 1. Again, I know I keep saying this, but I want to emphasize there's nothing complex to what the Raiders are doing. This is by NFL standards, just bare bones, basic offense. Stuff that you may see even in preseason. You're not seeing anything overly complicated. What you're trying to do is you're trying to play ball control. You're using Stidham's athleticism, and you're just trying to run the ball. Here you're going to line up with an extra offensive lineman lined up in tight end formation and a fullback, 2 wide receivers. Stidham's going to line up in center in an offset eye here. Hand off to Jacobs. He's going to dance around in the backfield, goes forward for a gain of, looks like a gain of 3, maybe 4. They're going to mark Jacobs down at the 2-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and goal here, but unless they lose yardage, I can almost promise you that they are going to go for it. This current drive, 12 plays, 74 yards, eaten up, looks like over 8.5 minutes. And this is the ball. This is the game plan. This is what you're going to do if you're the Raiders. Eat the clock up, shorten the game, keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Very simple. We're lining up in shotgun formation, trip wide receivers to the bottom of the screen, Darren Waller to the top here. Darren Waller one-on-one covered with Jalen Watson, Chiefs 7th-round pick. It's going to be a jump ball. And I apologize. It was not Watson. It was L'Jarius Sneed, and it's an incompletion here. Really nice play call. What you did is put 3 wide receivers to the bottom, put Waller to the top. The Chiefs were just going to play one-on-one. The referees are letting the defensive backs and wide receivers fight. Just like I predicted, it's 4th and goal. We are not seeing the field goal formation. We're going to see Stidham out there. You gotta score touchdowns if you're going to play against Kansas City Chiefs. So Stidham is lined up in shotgun formation. Josh Jacobs is to his right. 3 wide receivers to his left. Darren Waller's lined up as tight end on the line of scrimmage in a 3-point stance, motioning Adams from the top to the bottom. Shotgun snap. Stidham. Chris Jones has some pressure. Rolls away and incompletion. And it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs ball. No flags on the play. No flags on the play, so it is going to be Chiefs ball. What they did is Chris Jones really blew this play up. Chris Jones got in. Stidham had to roll out to his left. He got what he wanted. He was going for Adams the whole way. And I'm going to say this again and again. The referees are really letting these defensive backs play. I'm not going to lie to you. That could have easily been called pass interference. That could have easily been called a penalty against the Kansas City Chiefs. Trevor Morrig earlier had what I thought was a blatant pass interference call. This was almost that bad. The referees are letting the receivers play. I've seen that play called pass interference before. So the referees are letting the defensive backs and wide receivers fight out there. So I'm just letting you know right now, I've seen the Chiefs. It's a good play for the Chiefs, but I've seen that called pass interference several times. So Hollins just started walking when he got up. Nobody been able to attack him. Yeah, Hollins. Yeah, when he dove, he technically gave himself up. I thought it was pretty smart. And by the way, Hollins, the former special teams guy, just says, "Hey, I'm just going to play hard." I love this story. Here's a guy who just played special teams and just willed his way, thanks to injuries, into a starting wide receiver role for the Las Vegas Raiders. Amazement either way, the Lions will show up. This team doesn't have that woe is me thing. Yeah, I think so too, Funk. It would make their season to send the Packers home. 5-1 in division sounds pretty darn nice for a team that started 1-6. Goff should scream, "I own you," if they were to win tomorrow night. "We own you now" would be better. That was a good pickup for the Chiefs. Gardavius Toney may end up being a steal. The Chiefs gave up a 3rd and a 6th-round pick for him. And the Giants need draft picks. The Giants need draft capital. It does. I think it's one of those rare trades that's really good for both teams. Because this team truly has a we vibe, not a single I type on the roster. Yeah, that would be cool. We own you. Slasher, I'm gonna earmark this for you. Can Kelsey get 6.5 receptions? I believe he's at 3 already. I'm gonna keep track of this for you. I starred this. Slasher, I'm so glad you're here, brother. I'm gonna keep track of 6.5 for you. Tony is one of my guys when he came out. So happy he went to Kansas City so he'd be able to reach his potential perfect. Yeah, I really wanted him to come to Kansas City. I thought going to the Giants made no sense. So it's going to be first down for the Kansas City Chiefs as we have play continue here. The Chiefs have the ball on the 2-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 going right to left, 6:06 left in the second quarter. Handoff to Pacheco just right up the middle. Powers forward for a gain of 2, maybe 3. It's kind of funny. They're showing a Raiders fan, and he has a sign saying, "We deserve better," and he is surrounded by red. There's a lot of red out there. This is very interesting. Charles Woodson is in the owner's box with Mark Davis. Very interesting. So we have Mark Davis, the Chiefs owner, with NFL Hall of Famer Charles Woodson. So it's actually a gain of 3 here. Shotgun formation. Mahomes quick to Blake Bell, who's off of IR, tries to power over Nate Hobbs, doesn't get it, and it's a gain of 2. So it's going to be 3rd down. Very nice tackle by Hobbs. Blake Bell, who's returned to the roster, he's been on IR for the last couple of months. A very big tight end, 6'6", 260. Thought he could run over the Hobbs, the corner, and Hobbs makes a very nice form tackle. It's pretty much how you're supposed to tackle somebody. So it's going to be 3rd and 4. This is a key 3rd down for the Raiders. They really want to get the snap here, and they're looks like they're double covering Kelsey. 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Shotgun snap. Mahomes back to pass. He's in the end zone. Throws the ball deep to MVS, and they are not going to connect. So the Chiefs are going to go 3 and out. There is a flag on the play. I'm not sure where this is at. There's a chance that they may have been holding they may have been holding Crosby on this play. There's a possibility that they were holding Crosby. Oh, it's not. It's roughing the passer. This is going to be an automatic 1st down. And Crosby comes over and talks to Mahomes. They're kind of doing like the bro hug thing. So what they did is that they're showing this. They're double teamed Kelsey, and they're not showing the hit. But Crosby comes around and okay, I understand completely. And what it was is that they're not going to show us again. What they're saying is it looked like Crosby hit Mahomes in the head. This is one of those ticky-tack things. Most quarterbacks, this would not be a penalty because you're Patrick Mahomes. You're going to get the call. Patrick Mahomes scrambles, throws the ball. 1st down to Kelsey. 1st down to Kelsey, about a 15-yard completion here at midfield. Raiders fans are not happy. If I was not a Chiefs fan, I would not be happy about that either. It's a very ticky-tack call, but when you're Patrick Mahomes, you get those calls. So it's going to be 1st and 10 as play resumes here. Travis Kelce has 1,320 yards on the season. Very nice here. It's going 37-yard line, 1st and 10 here. Handoff to Pacheco. Pacheco squirts forward. He was hit at the 40, powers forward to the 43 for a gain of 6. There is another flag on the play. There's 4 minutes left in the second quarter, and we're finding out what the flag is. Offsides Raiders. So the Chiefs are going to go ahead and take this penalty. It'll be 1st and 5 here. And the Raiders defense, they all got their hands on their hips. They're kind of really don't know what to do here. The Chiefs offense is just humming right now. So it's going to be 1st and 5 on the 42-yard line here. The Chiefs offense looks really good early on. Mahomes back to pass shotgun formation, goes downfield. MVS at the Raiders 45. It's going to be 1st and 10 here in enemy territory. So the Chiefs, who started this drive on the 2-yard line, just went all the way downfield. A very questionable roughing the passer penalty here. And this is just MVS just doing an out route. You got to respect the deep speed. So when he breaks off the route, the ball's just right there. It's just pitch and catch. Mahomes under center, handoff to Pacheco, just right up the middle here. Was stopped at the 42, but powers forward to the 40. So it's going to be, looks like 2nd and 5. It looked like one of the Chiefs linemen was down, but he's getting up, just slow to get up. MVS, since he's entered the NFL in 2018, 17.4 yards of reception. That leads the NFL, so most yards per reception. That speaks for his deep speed. speaks for his deep speed. So it's going to be 2nd and 5 here at the 40-yard line. Mahomes is in shotgun formation. Jared McKinnon motions from the left to the right to the top of the screen. Kadarius Toney makes one guy miss, can't get away from the second guy, but does get a first down at the 30, so the Chiefs are in field goal range. And it's going to be 2:25 left in the second quarter. My guess is that the Chiefs are going to go ahead and let this drop down to the 2-minute warning. And this was a very nice play. What it is that Kadarius Toney caught the ball for a 5-yard gain, made a nice move, made a second move, and the Chiefs are going to just let this go inside the 2-minute warning. Chiefs are in no hurry to go ahead and snap this. They're on the 30-yard line, so they are in field goal range. Mahomes giving a nice handshake to Kadarius Toney. And we are now at the 2-minute warning. We are Chiefs 14, Raiders 3. And early on, this is all Chiefs. I love my sugar-free energy drinks. I have the link to Amazon below. Damn, didn't know you guys still had Rojo Dan. No, he asked for a release and the Chiefs said no. And he's been a nice addition late in the season. Since he's played, he's been running hard. I always liked Ronald Jones. I remember he's a 2nd-round pick out of USC. I really liked him coming out of USC. I thought he needed to put on some weight, which he has. I remember him coming out of college. He was like 195, 200. He looks like he's a solid 220. And he's really been playing well. He's really been playing well the last couple of weeks. Doesn't have a large part because the Chiefs like to use 3 running backs. And Pacheco's been the number 1 guy. McKinnon's been the guy who's basically a wide receiver. And then you have Ronald Jones, who does a little bit of everything. But he's been a nice addition. You heard Steve Young giving Purdy Mahomes comparisons. I swear, why do these guys annoy players so quickly? I mean, the guys played like 3 games. You know what it is that I talked about this in my live stream yesterday, is that a lot of these guys are just diet Howard Stern. You know, it's just shock jock stuff. It's just stuff that you're just saying just to generate a conversation. I know for a fact Steve Young doesn't believe that. But you know, you got to say things to just be outlandish. So it's just one of those things where I very rarely listen to these guys at all, just because it's just stuff to generate conversation. It doesn't really mean anything. So. And we are getting ready to resume play here. The Kansas City Chiefs have the ball. They're on the 30-yard line here. Shotgun formation. 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Shotgun formation. Gerald McKinnon is going to catch the screen play. And this is read perfectly by the Raiders. They get them behind the line of scrimmage. Polamalu, a newbie for the Raiders, comes in, makes a very nice play. So he just came in. This was a basic screenplay to McKinnon, loss of 2. The Chiefs are really in no hurry. They want to make sure that they don't get the first down. The Raiders have limited time to move the ball downfield. It's going to be 2nd and 12. Mahomes in shotgun formation. Kelsey and Toney, Judas to the top. Mahomes scrambling around, and squirts forward for a gain of 1. So it looks like it's going to be 3rd and 10. So he looked like he wanted to go downfield. Everybody was covered, and they end up just getting a yard here, as it's going to be 3rd and 10 with 1:18 left in the second quarter here, as that actually benefits the Raiders if they can get a stop here. So 3rd and 10. The Chiefs and Raiders are both making noise. Three wide receivers to the bottom, Kelsey up top, McKinnon's in the backfield. Mahomes back to pass. Mahomes is going to scramble around. Mahomes is going to run 25, dies at the 20, and is going to be down at the 15-yard line. As the ball hit the ground, it did fumble out, but obviously down. They show a dejected Raiders fan. There's not really much you can do. Everybody was covered. They were in all man-to-man coverage. They did have a spy, but it was picked up. The spy took the wrong angle, and Mahomes got a gain of 15 yards. The ball came out way after Mahomes was down. So they're going to go ahead and stop the clock here. I don't know who called the timeout, but it's a minute 3 left in the game. So first and 10 for the for the Kansas City Chiefs. As play resumes. So the interception was more of a bad punt than a bad interception, in my opinion, though, and it comes from the fact that the only person open was 10 yards short of the sticks. It wasn't, I didn't like they threw it in double coverage, but basically it's almost the same thing as a punt. The Chiefs did go right down and score a touchdown. That's not a good thing. The angle that they've been showing that I have here on my computer, they didn't show the whole field, so I have no idea what else was open. So why not run for it on third down if you're going to go for it anyways? Yeah, I think they're just trying to catch the Chiefs off guard. Excuse me. I think they're just trying to catch the Chiefs off guard, but it did not work. What do you think of Monday night playoff game? I was not aware they were going to do a Monday night playoff game. Is this let me double check here. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I kind of forgot about this. So what he's talking about, there's 2 Saturday wild card games. There's 3 on Sunday and 1 on Monday. And I kind of like it, I mean, I'll be honest, if it was me, I'd rather have 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, but it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm a fan of Monday Night Football. I mean, I mean, Monday Night Football to me is kind of an event, so I like it. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. Amazement, I don't like it. They do the AFC on Saturday, AFC on Sunday. Yeah, I hate it. Yeah, and if you're talking about the roughing the passer, it was not a good call. Mahomes gets that call. Most others don't. We're going to resume play here. Patrick Mahomes, shotgun formation. It was a Chiefs timeout, and he throws it to Juju for a gain of 7. So it's going to be 2nd and 3 at the. I can't tell if they're going to mark it at the 9 or the 10. It looks like just inside the 9. So a very generous spot for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're wondering why they're not going to show that roughing the passer, if you're not Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, you don't get that call. Very questionable call. Don't touch Mahomes, folks. Don't touch Mahomes. So we have play stopped here. They're not showing. They're just going to the announcer's booth. They're not showing who called the timeout or the reason why the clock has stopped. So the Chiefs hurry up here. It's actually Gerald McKinnon is going to go ahead. Option back to Mahomes. To Kadarius Toney. He breaks the tackle. He's at the 5. Touchdown. And there is a flag on the play. This might be a face mask on Kadarius Toney. We're going to go ahead and get the official word here. This is a very creative play. So what it was is I call it the diamond formation. It's going to be hold against Kansas City. It's not going to count. So this is what I call the diamond formation. Gerald McKinnon was lined up as quarterback, 2 running backs with each side, even though Toney was one of them. So here's Okay, I'm going to try to describe this right after the replay. They lined up and just did a ring around the rosy type of, they all had their hands. They all did a circle. They broke free, and it was Tony. And I'm going to go ahead and just go forward here and try to explain that later. It's going to be a 2nd down and 5. Jets screen to the Cardavius Tony. Touchdown, Kansas City! Oh my God, I didn't know if he got in or not. It was an end around to Cardavius Tony. He broke a tackle. They show some Raiders. There's one Raiders fan, his jaw is this wide open. It's an 11-yard touchdown run. He took the end around. They may look at this because it was very, very close. I wasn't sure if he got in. He did get in on the replay. They're going to show the pylon cam because it was very close, but his body goes over the pylon. Is definitely a touchdown, but they are going to look at it. All scoring plays are reviewed. So I'm going to get back to that last play. The Chiefs are all circled around like this. They all did a circle. Then they broke the huddle. Tony was on one side of McKinnon. Travis Kelce was to the other. About 5 yards behind him was Mahomes. They gave a handoff to Tony. They did an option pitch to Tony. Tony then pitched it back to Mahomes, who threw the ball back across the field to Tony, which would have been a touchdown, but a holding play. The next play, however, they just did a jet sweep to Tony. It would be on my screen right to left for a touchdown. So early on, we have a 21-3 lead with 47 seconds left in the half. We'll see if the Raiders can do something to make this game interesting. But if you're an AFC team, if you are an AFC team and you're watching this, you are scared because the Chiefs defense is making plays and the offense is unstoppable. Patrick Mahomes is playing like an MVP. And when the Chiefs offense hums like this, you really can't stop it. The Raiders do have some injuries on defense. The Raiders defense has not been very good all year. But the Chiefs offense is looked unstoppable at this point. Vegas neutral site. I know it will be a Super Bowl there soon, I think in 2024. I know that there is a Super Bowl coming soon to Vegas. I just don't know when. There is a Super Bowl coming to Vegas. I don't know when. I don't know when. Would Vegas be considered a neutral site? No. The site that they're planning on using is Indianapolis, and the reason why is that the city of Indianapolis and the people doing the Lucas oil preparations. If you're not aware, to get a game prepped is you really need several hundred people, maybe even a couple thousand. And it may sound ridiculous, but you need parking lot attendants, you need security, you need vending, you need cleaning, you need sanitation. I had a buddy of mine years and years and years ago was part of a crew that used to clean up stadiums after the games. And the plus was you got to see the game. You got paid. Now, this was, I'm going to say about 20 years ago. So you got paid like $8-9 an hour. And, he was doing it in November, December, and he's like, it's cold, it's miserable, it sucks. You just go down the road with the trash bag and you clean it up. And, So, by the way, in that series, Patrick Mahomes, 5,570 total yards, broke Drew Brees' 2011 record. So the most yards, total yards in a season is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can still beat Peyton Manning for most passing yards in a season. We're going to have to go ahead and wait on that as play resumes here. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to kick off here. And I'm kind of interested to see what the Raiders do here because you have a young quarterback. Do you want to give him the ball in the 2-minute offense or you just try to go in down 21-3? It may sound like you obviously want to go ahead and take some chances, but the Chiefs still have 2 timeouts left. What you don't want to do is put yourself in a situation where Stidham gets sacked or fumbles or throws an interception. So you have to be careful. They're showing a highlight of Chris Jones. And for those, Chris Jones has just been an absolute monster today. They're showing the play on fourth down where it was third down where Chris Jones blew it up. They're also showing the sack on third down earlier. So we got the Raiders with the ball back. It's going to be a 1st and 10 going left to right here. 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line, shotgun formation, Stidham. Chiefs bring a corner blitz. Stidham goes deep to Adams. Catch, and the ball is going to be at midfield here. So they do go ahead and attack. Kinsey brings a corner blitz, and it looks like the Raiders call a timeout. The Raiders call a timeout, and I don't have a word. I'm trying to see here how much time is left. This was pretty quick, so it's only 6 seconds have gone out, so it's going to be 1st and 10. They added a second back on, so it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 42. So the Raiders, really good job. They have one timeout left, so what they did is they got about 25 yards in 5 seconds. So good job by the Raiders. And what the Chiefs did is they brought pressure. I may have misspoke here. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 46-yard line. I'm going to say they need about 15 before you need a field goal. Back to pass here, Stidham shotgun formation. And even though the Chiefs only brought 4, there was considerable pressure. There is a flag on the play, and Davante Adams has his hands up in the air. It looks like it's going to be against the Kansas City Chiefs here. I was saying how they're letting them play, and then it's going to be a pass interference penalty against the Chiefs. This is going to be a big one. Only 3 seconds go off, and it's going to be a first down for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's kind of strange because they've been letting these guys play, and I have no idea. They called it on Justin Watson, who didn't commit a penalty. I believe they misspoke, and it was on L'Jarius Sneed, who was one-on-one on Davante Adams. So it's a 1st and 10 on the Chiefs' 45-yard line, 38 seconds left in the half. Chris Jones. Oh, my God. So Chris Jones comes through, causes the sack. Karlaftis cleans it up. It should be a half a sack for both Karlaftis and Jones. The Raiders call their final timeout. So what happens is Chris Jones just split the gap and got his foot, and Karlaftis kind of cleaned it up here. And what the Chiefs did is they only brought 4, and the Raiders couldn't do anything. So I don't know how they're going to grade this, but Chris Jones really got the sack. He was trying for the strip. Karlaftis came and cleaned it up. So I'm not really sure how they're going to do it. It really should be half for Jones, half for Karlaftis. 32 seconds left. It's now back at the Raiders 48, 2nd and 17. The Raiders are out of timeouts. So back to pass, Stidham in shotgun. There is a flag. It's going to be holding. So even though it's a completion to Adams at the 26-yard line, well within field goal range, this is going to be a hold. I'm sorry. It's going to be a legal hands to the face. Not a hold, but the way it was, the way the flag was, it's going to be in that area. So march the Raiders back, and they're going to show the penalty. What the Chiefs do, it's kind of the standard. Oh, yeah, they Mike Dana for the Kansas City Chiefs, his helmet was actually ripped off. So that's pretty easy to call. It's going to be a 2nd and 27 here as the Raiders are moving backwards. There's 24 seconds left in half. 2nd and 27, Dana has to step out. So the Chiefs are going to go with 4 linemen here. The Raiders have Hollins at the bottom of the screen, 3 wide receivers, including Darren Waller to the top. Shotgun snap. Stidham back. He's back. He's looks like he's just going to throw this ball away. And this was really bad because he just went ahead and held on to the ball too long. He really should have got rid of this sooner because if the Raiders now have 17 seconds left, if they do get a pass in the middle of the field, it's very questionable if they're going to have enough time to go ahead and get rid of this. So the Chiefs only brought 4, but they were able to put pressure on Stidham. And at the end of the play, Chris Jones did knock him down. So it's going to be 3rd and 27 here with 17 seconds left in the half. Chris Jones has 14 sacks, and there's a flag already. Stidham's back to pass, and it's a fumble. Karlaftis picks it up, and he's going to be down. We're going to see what this flag is, but the way it looks is that it's going to be Chiefs ball at the Raiders 30. We're going to wait and see what this call is. It's a legal shift by the Raiders. It's going to be first down, Kansas City with 9 seconds left. The Chiefs are in field goal range. Oh man, and the Raiders offensive line cannot handle the Kansas City Chiefs pass rush here. Chris Jones has been a monster, but it wasn't Chris Jones who made this. It was Mike Dana who had his helmet ripped off and had to step out for a play. Mike Dana came in, and then George Karlaftis picked up the fumble, and it's going to be Chiefs ball in Raiders territory. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes in shotgun formation, motions McKinnon out, so it's an empty set here. Chiefs have 2 timeouts, so they can do something. Quick play to MVS. MVS scoots out of bounds after a gain of 4. 4 seconds were used off the clock, so I think what the Chiefs are doing is okay, they're not even going to run another play. They're just going to bring Butker on for looks like it's going to be about a 43-yard field goal. Butker has had some misses this year, but in field goals over 40 yards, he's 6 out of 11. Under 40 yards, he's 11 for 12. This is going to be a 44-yard field goal. So apparently what they were trying to do is Butker likes it on the left hash. So what they did is they just moved it in the better position. The kick is up, and it is good. The Kansas City Chiefs will go into halftime up 24-3. This game is very comfortable for the Kansas City Chiefs. The offense has looked amazing, and the Raiders don't have an answer for the Chiefs pass rush. So as we go into halftime, if you're a Chiefs fan, like I am, you're really enjoying this. We have Kansas City 24, Vegas 3. Any suggestions on props for tonight's game with Jags Titans? Before I was able to jump on, I was not able to get confirmation on Derrick Henry's status. I believe he is going to play. With Derrick Henry, if he does play, I would take over on the rushing yards, no matter what it is. I think he's going to have a huge game. I would also take over on Joshua Dobbs because I think you're going to get a low number against the Cowboys. I think he threw for 270. It wouldn't surprise me if that passing yards for Dobbs number is under 200. It wouldn't surprise me if you get like 170, 180. And I would take over on Dobbs, and I would take over on Derrick Henry. There are you could also go with a lot of different receivers on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the reason why is that there's about 3 or 4 starting members of the Titans secondary. I think this Titans Jaguars game could be a high scoring game. So. Kelsey didn't touch the ball. No, he didn't. I'm going to pay attention for this. I believe he has 4 receptions, and I'll keep on it. Seems like it's more Chiefs fans there today. Yeah, there's a lot of Chiefs fans, and as somebody who's been to Vegas several times, I'm telling you right now, going to Vegas at this time of the year is perfect. Especially right now. I have not been outside today, so but my computer says it's 35, which is actually great. For January in the Kansas City area. But yeah. Jeff A, welcome, brothers, man. Chiefs, Sack Nation. Stidham. Okay, so let me go back to Stidham here a little bit. his junior year coming out of Auburn, he was a Heisman candidate. A lot of people thought he would go in the first round. He didn't have a good senior year. He had a really bad senior year. Didn't really play very well. I thought the fourth round was pretty good for the Patriots to pick him up. Now, keep in mind, when he was signed, a lot of people thought that he might be the eventual replacement for Tom Brady. And he's kind of that raw quarterback because he's a big, strong kid. He's got a big arm. Just didn't play that well his senior season at Auburn. I mean, Auburn was projected his senior season to be a top 10 team. They were going to compete against Auburn. And I think they finished 6-6. He didn't have he had a really bad senior year. If you were to watch him just his senior year, he had an undraftable grade. If you were to watch Jarrett Stidham's senior year at Auburn, he's not even a draftable quarterback. But because he played so well as a junior, the Patriots picked him up in the fourth round. And he was there for a couple. He was there for a couple of years. McDaniels really likes him, and there's a lot there to like. Jarrett Stidham's a guy that I don't know if the Raiders' plan is to give Stidham a legitimate chance, or if they want to go ahead and use their first round draft pick on a quarterback. You could see a lot of different things. You could see a situation like where Jimmy Garoppolo goes to the Raiders. I think Carr is done as a Raider, and it's a shame. I've always liked Derek Carr. I always thought he was a really good quarterback. He's just in a division where he's, first it was Manning, now it's Mahomes. So, but Jarrett Stidham there's a lot of good things to like about Jarrett Stidham. Above average athleticism, good arm, nice size. A lot to like about this kid. It'll be very interesting to see how the Raiders like him. Just getting here. Denver Gator. Thanks, brother. Getting here. F the Raiders. Sounds like you're doing a great. Hey, I'm trying. I'm not an expert, obviously. I'm not an expert, so please bear with me. This is just my third time doing play-by-play. I'm just doing my best. I'm having a lot of fun, and I've been very lucky to get people coming in with some great comments. This game's a little different because there's no other games going on. The other two games, I had DraftKings up. I was giving commentary. People were nice enough to come in and give me updates on scores of the other games. So, man, I really appreciate it, Denver Gator. And I'm telling you this, it is so good to see you, man. I've missed you. And I also missed doing our shows together. So it's been a lot of fun. So we are at halftime, by the way. By the way, guys, give me a thumbs up, man. Denver Gator says, what's up, peeps? Well, at least it wasn't a scoop and score for the Chiefs on that turnover. No, it was not. And it could have been. It could have been. It could have very easily been a scoop and score for the Kansas City Chiefs. It could have easily been a scoop and score. So, Stidham's jersey looks very dirty. I'm sorry, I got a comment here. At Max Maniac, we're not going to do that here. I'm going to put you in a 5-minute timeout. Personal level, Max, I may agree with you. We're not going to touch base on that here. That wrong place, wrong time. Personal note, I kind of agree with you, but I also believe in democracy. And in America, you should have a choice of. You shouldn't be banned one way or another. You should have that option, but we're not going to do that here. Chiefs are literally playing with the Raiders. Even that twirly thing they did to the goal, just toying with the Chiefs look unstoppable right now. If you're an AFC team and you're watching this, you have to be afraid. You have to be really afraid because the Kansas City Chiefs look like the best team in the AFC. I've been saying this for a while. Just head and shoulders above everybody else. Really, the reason why is that. even before the Hamlin injury, you had Von Miller, he's gone. You had some other injuries on their defensive line, offensive line, and you also have Josh Allen banged up. The team that I was afraid about was the Cincinnati Bengals, and they have some issues on their offensive line. So not only do you have the Chiefs, which are playing at their best football right now, the Chiefs are healthy, and that's what scares people. And if they do get the 1 seed, Andy Reid's record after a bye is the best in the NFL. So, so Jacobs resigned with the Raiders. He wants to. He's going to lead the NFL in rushing. He's a phenomenal job. I think the Raiders are going to try to re-sign him. The way it works out is that after the season's over, they're able to get out of the Carr contract by NFL standards, relatively cheap. So I think they're going to put a priority on signing Jacobs. It's going to be interesting because what kind of a market does a guy like Jacobs have? Is there going to be a team that's going to want to give him 15 to 20 million a year? And I don't think there is. I think that he's going to get some lowball numbers, and I think he ends up re-signing with the Raiders. And if I'm the Raiders, I want this guy back, because whether you go with Stidham or whether you go with a rookie quarterback, your best option for a young quarterback is a solid running game. And Jacobs has been a very good running back. Jacobs and McDaniels do like each other. It was just a situation. Before McDaniels got there, the salary cap situation wasn't really good. They're kind of cash poor as an organization, which is hard to believe, but that's the way it is right now. I think that he does, but it'll be interesting, because if there's a team out there that has money that wants to pay him, then I think he could go somewhere else. But I think it's in Josh Jacobs' best interest, and I think it's in the Raiders' best interest to re-sign him. There's no way Sean Payton really wants a Denver job right now. Sean Payton really wanted the Chargers job, and with the Chargers playing really well, it looks like that that job's not going to be available this offseason. But he's talking to all the NFL teams. There's always an NFL job that becomes available during Black Monday, or sometimes a day later, that kind of surprises people. ESPN had an article about the 7 best jobs that are going to become available, ranking them 7 to 1. I don't have ESPN Plus. I don't know all 7 of them, but the 7 teams that he mentioned, there's a few surprises. He mentioned this was Bill Barnwell for ESPN. I actually do respect him. I think he's an excellent writer. So he mentioned that he thought the Washington job would be available. And that's interesting, because Ron Rivera is both the head coach and general manager. So if that job becomes available, then you're going to have to bring in a new general manager. I think Rivera is going to be safe in Washington, but that's an interesting story. He also thought that the Saints job would be available, which would be very interesting, because Dennis Allen would be a one and done. I don't see that, but some of the information in the article, if you have ESPN Plus, you can go ahead and take a look at that for yourself. But there's always some interesting stories. I think a guy that could be fired is Lovie Smith in Houston. That's going to be an interesting story. I think if he wins against the Colts tomorrow, he may be able to keep his job. If he loses, that's going to be an interesting job. If I'm Sean Payton, I would definitely not want the Denver job. The offense that Sean Payton wants to run is not what Russell Wilson does well. But does he want to hear what they have to say? Yeah. I mean, I was just Denver Gator, who was in the chat earlier, said that the Walton Penner Group is worth $70 billion. I had no idea they're worth that much. But when you're worth $70 billion, throw somebody $100 million, it's not really a lot to ask. Remember, Matt Rule for Carolina got a 7-year, $60 million deal. So, a guy like Sean Payton with considerably more experience and a Super Bowl ring might be able to get 10 or 15, maybe even 20 million from the Walton Penner group. So, I'll be honest with you, even if you don't want the job, if somebody's offering enough money, I mean, there's kind of a risk reward, for how much you're willing to take. Do I think he wants the Denver job? No, I don't. I think out of all the jobs available, if I'm Sean Payton, that would be the last one that I would want to take. And it looks like we are starting the third quarter. You'd be surprised Slasher Russell Wilson isn't a bomb and a solid receiving core. So I guess winning percentages are thrown out the window. Why keep track of percentages? It doesn't matter in the sudden. I'm sorry, not if you are in timeout. I did not mean to put you in there. If I did, I'm sorry. There was a guy named Max Maniac. I don't know who he is. I don't recognize him. Nothing personal against you, Max. It's just the comment is, I'm not going to do that here. And nothing personal. DM me if you want. We could talk about that. But we're just going to stick with football. If I did put you in timeout, I did not mean to. One pride. So we have kickoff underway. It's going left to right, and it's going to be first and 10 for the Raiders at their own 25-yard line at the start of the third quarter. And I'm going to get to all these comments, folks. I am going to get all of these comments. So. And one pride, again, if I put you in there accidentally, the person above you, I put in a 5-minute timeout. So you should not have been. But if I did, I'm really sorry. And again, that guy, Max, if you're there, DM me. I don't want to do that on the live stream. All right, so first and 10 on the 25. The Raiders are going left to right on your screen here. Stidham's under center, play action pass. He wants to go deep. He's going to scramble. He's at the 30 and slides. So apparently they told him to get down. It looks like Stidham was told to get down at halftime and to not risk bodily injury. That's actually pretty smart. I give him kudos for his toughness. 8 out of 13 for 103 yards, 1 interception, sacked 4 times in the first half. So the Kansas City Chiefs are definitely getting after him, and they're not blitzing a lot either. That's normal for a Spagnuolo defense to add a lot of creative blitzes. They are not doing it. They're lined up in offset eye, play action pass for Stidham. Checks down to Jacobs for a gain of 4. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1, 3rd and maybe a short 2, depending on where they mark the ball at. This was a nice play, just offset eye, play action. Everything was covered deep, so just check down. It's very simple, basic offense. It's just 1, 2, get rid of the ball or run. They're going to mark it close here, so it's going to be 3rd and a long 1 here for the Raiders. Chiefs are lining up with 3 linebackers in a stereotypical 4-3 here. The Raiders are lined up here in an I formation. 6 offensive linemen as they got a offensive lineman playing tight end. Play action pass for Stidham. He's got time, and he is going to run. He's going to get the first down, and he's going to step out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Nice play. What they did is they put their backup swing tackle as a tackle. They're trying to catch the Chiefs napping as they did a play action pass. Stidham wanted to go deep. Nobody was open, so he just ran for the first down. And this is just really basic offense. It's just 1-2 run or 1-2 check down. Very simple, and I really like what the Raiders are doing. I know they've only scored 3 points. They're down by 3 touchdowns, but I do like what the Raiders are doing because they're putting this young quarterback in a position to succeed. Stidham's under center here at Crosby and Holland to the bottom of the screen. Hand off to Jacobs right up the middle. Tackle or hit behind the line of scrimmage by Nick Bolton. I keep wanting to call him a Pro Bowl inside linebacker for the Chiefs, but he did not make the Pro Bowl, even though he's having a Pro Bowl caliber season. So Nick Bolton does hit him behind the line of scrimmage, but doesn't make the tackle. Jacobs escapes and gets a gain of 3. Excuse me. We got rookie Zahir White is going to go ahead and take over for Jacobs on this play. I formation, pitch to Zahir White, gets to the outside. and he's tackled at the 45-yard line, a gain of 4. Zahir White is a rookie out of Georgia. I want to quote you as a 6th-round pick. I'm sorry, 4th-round pick, Zamir White out of Georgia. Powerful runner. I really liked him out of Georgia last year. He's going to take over for Jacobs for a little bit. Looks like he's come off. I believe he's going to be replaced by Amir Abdullah, journeyman out of Nebraska. Really loved him coming out of Nebraska. Was a Heisman candidate at one point. So it's 3rd and 3. Stidham in shotgun formation. Trips to the top. Devontae Adams 1-on-1 on the bottom. Quick pass to Renfro, who ducks underneath Bolton's tackle. Squirts forward to the 40 to the 37-yard line. Nice play by Renfro. Nick Bolton came in ready to make the tackle, and all Renfro did was just duck, and this was just pitch and catch. This is very easy. What happened is Renfro just made a turn, got an out. 99% of the NFL wide receivers would have been tackled right there. Renfro makes a great play, just ducks underneath Bolton, almost falls all the way down to the ground, gets another 15 yards. So the Raiders are quickly in Chiefs territory. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Chiefs 38. Offset play action pass for Stidham. Sees pressure, flows it out to the flat to the Raiders fullback, and that's Johnson for a gain of 2 yards. And he looks mad, but he did what he was supposed to do. He was in the flat, got the pass, and it was not able to break the tackle. So it's a short gain, but it's going to be 2nd and 7 or 2nd and 8 here. Okay, it is 2nd and 7 for the Raiders here. And this is exactly what they're wanting to do. Jared Stidham, 11 out of 16, 126 yards, 1 interception, and has 43 yards rushing. This is exactly what they wanted to do. So the ball's at the 35-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 7. So 2nd and 7, back to pass. There is a flag on the play. Josh Jacobs out to the flat, splits the defenders, and squirts forward for a gain of 3. But we're going to see what the flag is. This is in holding territory, so this is probably what you're looking at is holding here against the Raiders. It's actually offsides against Kansas City, and this is going to be a nice play or a nice event for the Raiders here. Is it's offsides, and so that's not offsides. So what happened is Dana flinched, but he didn't go over the line of scrimmage, and Dana's shaking his head because that's not a good call. So he's, by the way, if you're a defensive end or a defensive tackle, you can flinch, but if you get back by the time the ball's snapped, and that's what happened, that's a bad call. But 2nd and 2 for the Raiders, and Josh Jacobs sneaks forward for a gain of it's a gain of 2, but he's going to be short of the 1st down, so it's going to be 3rd and about a half a yard here for the Raiders. And again, I know the Chiefs are up by 3 touchdowns. I know the Raiders have only scored 3 points, but I like what the Raiders are doing offensively. You have a young quarterback who's got some athleticism. You keep the offense simple and let him do what he does best. They're lined up 6 offensive linemen. Or no, I apologize, it's 2 tight ends. They're motioning over to make 11 formation. It's I formation. Jacobs right up the middle, giant hole, gets the 1st down. He's inside the red zone. They're going to mark him down to 19-yard line. And I like what the Raiders are doing here. So what they did is they just lined up in 11 personnel with a fullback and just ran the ball just outside the tackle. Very nice blocking by the Raiders offensive line as the Chiefs are lined up in the standard 43 package, 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and the Raiders got a 1st down. Josh Jacobs, 13 carries, 34 yards as he gets another carry on the 19, and he's bottled up for maybe a gain of 1. He got past the line of scrimmage, and Josh Jacobs is on the ground. Josh Jacobs, by the way, he's not 100%. I've watched a lot of Josh Jacobs in my career. He's not 100%. And if you're watching this game and you're wondering why are the Raiders not trying to hurry up, they're just trying to have some success. They're just trying to show that they can be successful, that they can run the offense like they want to run, and they're hoping to get into the end zone here on this possession. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Zahir White's going to take over for Jacobs. Jared Stidham back to pass. The ball is hit, and it's a wobbler coming out, and Stidham is limping as he comes up. I think it was Carlos Dunlap who hit him. It was two tight ends here, and they're showing the play here. The Chiefs just rushing 4, and it was Carlos Dunlap who hit some clean legal hit, but after the play was released, tackled him, brought him to the ground, and Stidham comes up limping a little bit. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 here on the Chiefs' 19-yard line. You have Amir Abdullah to his left, Waller's to the bottom of the screen, 3 wide receivers to the top, and Stidham's calling out signals here, and it's right at 0. They're going to finally get Stidham for the layup gain here. He's been very close a couple of times. I thought there should have been one other time he should have been called for this. He's not able to get it. Josh McDaniels not happy with it, but when you're a young quarterback, you have these issues. So I understand what's going on here. McDaniel's going to have to call a different play. I think here what you're going to see is probably a draw or a screen, something simple. You don't want to risk a turnover here because it's 3rd and 15. Barking out signals here, shotgun formation, same formation, 3 receivers to the top, and Darren Waller to the bottom. Chiefs bring 4, Stidham back to pass, and he's going to drop it off short to Hunter Renfrow for a gain of 3. And this is what I was expecting. You don't want to risk anything. In this type of play, what you're doing is you're just going to get Hunter Renfrow in some open space and hope that he can make a play. It looks like they were wanting – oh, no. They could have went to Adams in the center of the field, but Stidham, being a young guy, just took the check down. So we're going to see Daniel Carlson for a field goal here, and Devontae Adams is looking at the play, and he knows he was open. Oh, boy, that was a missed opportunity for the Raiders. So a 38-yard field goal here for Carlson. This should be very easy and then very makeable. So it's going to be a 24-6 here, 6:55 left in the 3rd quarter. He's going to have the LA job, welcome him with open arms. Would you rather coach Justin Herbert for the next decade or Russell Wilson for his last 3? Yeah, he wants the LA job. And by the way, what's going on here is that we have Sean Payton making his rounds. I personally think the best job would be Carolina, because you're going to have a high enough draft pick that you can get the rookie quarterback that you want, and that team's loaded. You have draft capital. You have a stud you have a stud left tackle. Ike Ekwonu was my number 1 player coming out of the draft last year. So you have a stud left tackle, a really good defense. You have a number 1 wide receiver. You have some good running backs there. You also have an owner, and you have an owner that's willing to spend a lot of money, and you have a pretty underrated but very good fan base in Carolina. In my opinion, I think Carolina is the number 1 position. And also because you coached in the NFC South for a long time, that's kind of a big plus for Sean Payton. So it'll be very interesting to see what's going on. But yeah, he wants the LA job, but he's not. I don't think it's going to be available this year. TCU or Georgia, says One Pride. I think Georgia. I'll be honest. I think the line yesterday was 13.5. It may go up to 14. I think Georgia covers. I'll be honest. I think for the first half it's going to be a good game, and I think Georgia's just size and overall athleticism really takes over in the second half. So I see Russ Wilson bouncing back next season. No way he goes out like this. It's going to depend on who they get. I'll be honest with you. If I'm Denver, the guy that I would want would be Jim Harbaugh, former or a Michigan coach. He's been rumored in a lot of places. That's where I would want. If I was the Denver organization, that's who I want. So we're going to resume play here. I'm going to answer all your comments during commercial breaks and at the end of the 3rd quarter. I see a lot of great comments in here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't thank you enough as the Raiders get ready to kick off here. Chiefs are up 24-6. The Raiders got the ball to start the second half. They went downfield. They did a good job moving the ball Did a really good job moving the ball, but they came up short in the red zone, had to kick a field goal. But then they're showing Stidham and Josh McDaniels on the side here. And this is just a young quarterback just learning in the NFL. 6:55 left in the third quarter. The Raiders are going to kick off the Kansas City here. It's a deep kick, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs at the 25-yard line. The Kansas City Chiefs in the first half did everything right. The offense looked nearly unstoppable. The Chiefs defense is playing really, really well. The Raiders are having a very difficult time stopping Chris Jones. They're showing a replay here. Chris Jones is just causing all sorts of problems for the Raiders because the Chiefs like to employ heavy blitz. They haven't needed to. They've been able to get pressure on Stidham with just 4. Mahomes in the shotgun, hands off to Pacheco right up the middle, gets met at the 28-yard line and stopped. Looks like it's going to be a gain of 3 for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs are more than happy at this point in the game to just implement a 4-minute offense. Don't be surprised if the normal creativity that we saw in the Kansas City Chiefs offense, we're not going to see that right now. So the Chiefs are really happy just trying to eat some clock up here. We're going to see Mahomes in shotgun formation, trips to the top of the screen with Kelsey in the slot, MVS to the bottom. Pacheco is to Mahomes' right. Mahomes going to take the shotgun snap, and this was he was trying to go to MVS on a slot, and that was read perfectly by the Raiders corner here. Had a really nice jump on the ball. This was almost an interception. They're showing a replay. Serious. Okay, so what happened was the ball was behind MVS. MVS got a hand on it, but this was almost a pick. Not a good throw by Mahomes. So 3rd and 6 here for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs have been 3 out of 4 on 3rd down. 3rd and 6, Mahomes is in shotgun, takes the snap, and he is sacked by Crosby. So the Chiefs go a quick 3 and out. Crosby just goes right around Andrew Wiley. Very, very nice play by Andrew Wiley, by Max Crosby there as he just goes right around Andrew Wiley. There's nothing really Mahomes could have done there. So what it was is that looked like the Chiefs offensive line was shifting over to the left. They put Max Crosby one-on-one, and Crosby just won the battle there. Wiley didn't have an answer there for the Pro Bowler. He did get his hand around Mahomes' helmet, but considering the phantom call that we got earlier in the game, I'm okay with it. So, and we have a flag on the play. I don't know if it's delay of game or an offsides on Kansas City. It's delay of game. So Kansas City Chiefs special teams error will back Chiefs up 5 yards, and the Raiders are going to have good field position here. It looks like when they do get the ball back. So it's a punt here by Tommy Townsend, Pro Bowl punter. Hunter Renfro's back inside the 30 and is tackled immediately. So the Raiders, I said, we're going to get good field position. They're going to get the ball around the 27-yard line. And this is when I mentioned earlier that I liked what the Raiders were doing offensively. I mean that. And what it is that the Raiders were just trying to get Stidham in position to succeed. And then what you're hoping is that exactly what they did is that they got 3 and out. They got the ball back still in the third quarter. So you get a score here, and we got a ball game, folks. Right now, 24-6, we are at commercial timeout. So I'm going to get to all of your comments. Dude, what's so crazy to me is how much money the AFC West spent teams to stop us, and we see what happened. LOL, go Chiefs. Hung fam, yes. Welcome. I don't recognize you. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Tommy Montoya. Or is it Montana? I believe it's Montoya, man. Hey, man, welcome, brother. I don't recognize you. So great to see your comments in here. Denver wants Dan Quinn. That would be an interesting signing. The only issue I would have with Dan Quinn is that he runs a different style of defense than what you currently have in play. you would have to do so. There would be an adjustment period on the defense, and I don't know if I'm Denver, if I want to bring in a guy who wants to change my defense. If I normally what happens is when you bring in a head coach, if you have an offensive coach, you want to bring in a defensive coach, and that's what you may want to do. It's just Dan Quinn would run a different style of defense, so there would be an adjustment period. But I think the players would be able to adapt, but there would be some sort of transition. It's just a question of how long would that transition take? Would it take just a few games? Would it take half the season, 3/4 of the season? And the big question would be, who would Dan Quinn be able to bring as an offensive coordinator? I think that if you're Denver, you would rather go with an offensive guy to try to fix that offense, because the problem with Denver is not on the defensive side of the ball, but it's good. James, yeah, man. I'm glad. Maybe I should get a new email. I may change or adapt that later on. But yeah, you email me anytime you want. I'll make sure I check that email. I went into that email box. There's a bunch of unread emails. I'm gonna have to go through there. So we are back to the game here. The score is 24-6. The Raiders got the ball, and if they can score a touchdown here, we have a ball game. So it's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Raiders at the 28-yard line. Very nice punt by Tommy Townsend. The Raiders are on 11 personnel. Josh Jacobs is in the backfield. Play action pass. Stidham bootleg. Nobody's open. He's just going to run and pick up 8 on the ground. And again, I really like what the Raiders are doing offensively. They're using Stidham's mobility. They're using his athleticism, and they're keeping the offense very simple. They're keeping him in a position to go ahead and have some success. The Chiefs, Chris Jones is on the sidelines right now. They've been able to get pressure on Stidham just with the front four. So Chris Jones looks like he's unhappy with something. He's talking to one of the coaches on the sidelines here. 2nd and 3 here for the Raiders as they line up 3 wide receivers. Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Josh Jacobs is stopped right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even behind the line of scrimmage. Give a lot of credit to Josh Jacobs, by the way. He's really toughing it out, but he's not 100%. Chris Jones comes back on the field here. It's going to be 3rd and 3 as we continue here. It looks like they're just kind of resting Chris Jones for 3rd down here. And you can do that in this type of situation. This is something the Chiefs like to do, rotate defensive linemen. So Stidham's going to be in shotgun, Waller to the top of the screen, 3 wide receivers to the bottom, and Josh Jacobs is off to his right-hand side here. Shotgun snap here. Stidham's back to pass. And he's going to go deep one-on-one to Waller, and it's an incompletion. And this is a really nice play call. What you do is you set Waller up against a safety one-on-one. That's a brilliant call. Waller, excellent tight end who's missed a large part of the season with injuries. But when he's healthy, he's one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. And this is the matchup that they wanted, one-on-one against a safety, and they just didn't make the play. Very disappointing, but great play by the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. Justin Reed, great play there. So the Raiders quick 3 and out here at 4th and 3 here as they are going to punt at the 35-yard line. Cardavius Toney will be back to return. And punts off to the side here, and it's going to – oh, my God, this is going to bounce out at the 2-yard line. Originally, I thought this is a terrible punt because it went off the side, but it's going to bounce out at the 2-yard line. So the Chiefs are going to have to go 98 yards when play resumes here, but the Chiefs did do that earlier. So very nice punt by the Raiders. Very, very nice punt by the Raiders here. When play resumes, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Wild card games lining up to be good. Potentially Bills, Dolphins, Bucks, Cowboys, Packers, Niners, Ravens. There are some really good games. There's some really good. It's going to be some really good divisional games. Bills, Dolphins. That's going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to Bucks, Cowboys. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys are favored. Packers, Niners is going to be a good one. The Ravens, Bengals. If that does work out, it's going to be a coin flip to see who gets home field. So kind of Bengals get screwed depending on how you look at it. Even Giants, Vikings would be cool. Giants almost beat them. Yes, they did. Raiders down 3 touchdowns, and their game plan is to keep running with Jacobs against the stout. I understand. Here's the deal. What you're doing is you're just trying to protect your young quarterback. You're trying to get it close into the fourth quarter, just down by maybe 1 or 2 scores. So I do like the play call, even though I understand where you're saying that. What you're trying to do is that, because bottom line, the Chiefs like the blitz, and they're able to get pressure on with 4. So just trying to run the ball. There's ultimately what you want to do is you want to be down. You want to get it from a 3-score game to a 2-score game in the fourth quarter. And then what you're hoping for is maybe you can get a turnover or a stop. And right now you get the Chiefs on the 2-yard line. So if you can get 3 and out and you can get good field position, you can get this to be a 2-score game in the fourth quarter. And that's what you're trying for. Highway 61, man. Hey, welcome, brother. Where's the Raiders almost beat San Francisco? So here's the deal here. When you have a young quarterback, sometimes you have these explosions. Remember Mike White, his first game threw for like over 400 yards because you don't have game film on him. You don't really know what he can do. But keep in mind, Stidham's been with McDaniels for 4 years. So they've kind of had this in play. Maybe San Francisco came up, not really expecting too much here. So, but play resumes here. Mahomes back to pass. Kelsey gets a quick 5-yard reception. Slasher, if you're paying attention, I believe this is Kelsey's 5th reception. So if you have a prop bet for over 6.5 receptions, I'm going to keep tabs for you. I believe that's his 5th one. When I get confirmation, I'll go ahead and relay that. So what happened is they came back from commercial break, and boom, Mahomes is in shotgun, quick pass to Kelsey for a gain of 5. So it's going to be 2nd and 5 from the Raiders 7-yard line. Patrick Mahomes is under center, and it looks like 11 personnel, actually 3 tight ends. Hand off to McKinnon, gets to the outside, gets to the 10, cuts back inside for a first down. Very nice run for Jared McKinnon as he squirts forward for a gain of 7. Very nice play by Jared McKinnon here. So, and they're showing the playoff picture here. The Chiefs with a win will clinch the 1 seed, but they will not clinch home field advantage. However, they have the opportunity to get home field if the Bills lose to the Patriots. That's a big game tomorrow for the Patriots. Patriots win, they make the playoffs. Shotgun formation, Davis, Tony Mose in motion. Mahomes goes deep. And Justin Watson, it's broken up. Oh, man, Justin Watson had a reception. And number 31 for the Raiders, I called his name earlier. He's new to the team. I don't know who he is. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who number 31 is for the Raiders. Nice break up here because this was a long reception, and 31 comes in and just breaks it up. And it looks like this was kind of a blown coverage here. And what happened is I believe that Sidney Jones just came in and broke this up. Sidney Jones signed with the Raiders late in the season. Nice play right there. 2nd and 10, Mahomes back to pass, scrambling around. He's going to run and directing McKinnon to get the block, and it's for a first down. Mahomes runs for a gain of 13 yards, and very nice play call because it was a broken play, just motions for McKinnon to block. He just runs right behind McKinnon for a gain of 13 yards. Very nice play. And then once it looks like somebody's going to touch Mahomes wisely steps out of bounds. No need for him to take additional punishment. Patrick Mahomes 15 out of 20, 180 yards on the day, 1 touchdown and 29 rushing yards. Looks like one tight end. Kelsey's not in. Cardavius Toney motions from bottom to top. Passed or handoff to McKinnon. He breaks free of the tackle, slips, and loses a yard here. So what happened was he powered forward for a gain of 1, broke a tackle, went backwards, and ended up losing a yard. So when you voluntarily go backwards, forward momentum doesn't count. So it's going to be 2nd and 11 here for the Kansas City Chiefs. We are now going inside 1 minute left in the third quarter. Ronald Jones is going to take over. He's going to be lined up to Patrick Mahomes' right. Patrick Mahomes in shotgun formation. Justin Watson to the top of the screen. 3 wide receivers. Hand off to Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones gets 9 yards here. Really quick snap and just a handoff to Ronald Jones. He squirts forward for a gain of 9. And it's going to be 3rd and short once play resumes here. It's now inside 30 seconds. It'll be 3rd and 2. So I think what I'm expecting is the Chiefs to run the ball and just go into the fourth quarter up by 18. Patrick Mahomes is in shotgun formation. Ronald Jones is it's Jerick McKinnon to his left. Kelsey's at the top of the screen. He's going to motion back. Patrick Mahomes and dropped by McKinnon. This would have been a first down, and McKinnon just took his eyes off the ball. This was a great play design. This was a great play call. What happened is you brought Travis Kelce from the top of the screen. He motions bottom to clear everything out. Wasn't a perfect pass, but McKinnon should have caught this. What happened is McKinnon was looking forward, making sure he wasn't going to get hit. And when he turned back around, only got one hand on the ball. So it's going to be a punt. Hunter Renfro's back, and Townsend gets the punt away. Both these punters have been doing an excellent job. This is a nice punt. This is going to drop. Oh, my God. So he had that golf backswing. It hit almost at the goal line, rotated backwards. If you're a golfer, you know what I'm talking about. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 2-yard line for the Las Vegas Raiders. Actually, it's going to be at the 3-yard line. My mistake. So this bounced at the 1, did a nice backwards rotation, and it's going to be at the 3, and Tommy Townsend has a little swag going to him, as he well deserves to have some swag for that excellent punt. 2 seconds left in the third. It's actually going to be at the 4-yard line, so it's going to be 1st and 10. The Raiders are in I formation here, and it's going to be a handoff to Josh Jacobs, and he's going to lose a yard. And then that's going to end the third quarter. So we go into the fourth quarter. The Chiefs are up 24-3. Oh, my God. By the way, welcome, Highway 61. I do not recognize you, so I am very happy to see you, man. Please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. What's with the field, seeing guys slip? I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% familiar with the Raiders grass situation. I think they use natural grass, and what it is that it doesn't rain a lot in the desert. So I think that they're just having some problems. This is something that may be addressed in the offseason. DC4L Cowboys Nation. Tommy, no, I've been on YouTube for a while. I'm just a small channel, man, so I'd really love your support. If you're new here, man, please hit that subscribe button. Share my channel, man. I've been in here for a while. This is just my 3rd time doing live stream, so I am new to that. Okay, Kittle, Waller, Pitts, start one, sign one, cut one, go. Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to start Kittle. When he's healthy, he's as good as anybody. Unfortunately, I would sign Pitts, and I would cut Waller. Now, if it's one game, I would cut Pitts, but because of Pitts' upside and youth, I would go with Pitts over Waller. I think Pitts is going to be an absolute superstar. I think Pitts is going to be a superstar. He was injured early in the year, but this is a guy I absolutely loved coming out of Florida. So, do you like the way Tommy's got some great questions, man? I'm so glad you're here, brother. Do you like the way the NFL is dealing with the Bills-Bengals game on the coin flip, not letting them play the game again? I'm going to tell you what I thought that they were going to do, and in my opinion, it made the most sense, is I think they should have called it 7-3. Since the players and coaches decided they didn't want to continue, they should just end the game at 7-3. They shouldn't have had to do that. The way the NFL's handled this, I've absolutely loved, but I really, really firmly believe that what you should have done is just ended the game, and you shouldn't have to do any of this coin flip shit. And by the way, if it ended 7-3, the Bengals would be the 2 seed, and the Bills would be the 3 seed. So, hey, I'm doing a live stream in here. I'm sorry, somebody knocked at my door. I told them to get the hell out. So, That's the problem with doing a live stream in an apartment complex. So my apologies. We are back to the game here. The Raiders got the ball. It's going to be 2nd and 11, going left to right on your screen. Start of the fourth quarter here. Jared Stidham's in shotgun formation. He's got 2 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Devontae Adams to the bottom. Tight end here lined up. And Jared Stidham's back to pass. Gets it off to Hunter Renfrow for a gain of 5. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Raiders here. So I apologize for the yelling. I know what that is. I have an Amazon package, so the guy was just doing his job, and I was kind of a jerk there. So my apologies for the outburst. We're going to have a Waller's going to be lined up as tight end set. Devontae Adams motioning from top to bottom on the screen here. Shotgun snap. Amir Abdullah is going to take over as running back. Jared Stidham back to pass, and the ball is deflected. So we have a deflection here, and it's going to be 4th down. And I believe that was Carlos Dunlap on the deflection there. So the Raiders are going to punt deep in Chiefs territory, so it's going to be an excellent job. And they're showing this. The Raiders have no answer for Chris Jones. And actually what happened is Carlos Dunlap jumped up and Stidham threw the ball right in Carlos Dunlap's helmet. So Cole's going to be back to punt here in the end zone, and this should be excellent field position for the Kansas City Chiefs. Cardavius Toney's going to get the punt at the 33-yard line. He's going to make a move and score it up to the 38-yard line, and it's going to be excellent field position when play resumes here for the Kansas City Chiefs. So. Hey, Tommy, Dan has been doing weekly content for years now and do the live play-by-play live chat. Actually, Denver Gator, that's changed. I'm during the rest of the off season and for the playoffs, I'm only going live Friday. I'll be back doing Tuesday, back in September once the regular season starts. Ooh, here's another good one. Okay. Here's another Hurts, Lamar, Allen, start one, sign one, cut one, go. Oh boy, this is a good one. Okay. I'm gonna start Allen, even though Hurts was my MVP for a large part of the season, and I definitely sign Hurts, and then Lamar Jackson would be cut. Bob Quinn, LOL. I see, that's actually not bad, but I think they go with an offensive guy. Seems like cool content creator. Hey, listen, Tommy, I need Cowboys fans here. He's not here today, but I have Alex, a diehard Houston fan who hates the Cowboys. But I would love to have some Cowboys fans in here, Tommy. So I'm welcoming you. Please come in here. I want to see you. I go live every Friday, so hopefully I hear a lot from you in the future. Big fan of Peyton, but he's only won 1 Super Bowl in a critical year. Doesn't seem like an answer for a team in need of a rebuild. I'll be honest. If I don't think Peyton would fit in Denver. I'll be honest. I think Jim Harbaugh would be the best fit for the Denver Broncos. I think that would be the perfect fit. But yeah, he's a Chief. Yes, I'm a Chiefs fan. But my channel, I do all 32 teams. I'm doing the live stream because I've been a Chiefs season ticket holder since 1989. But my channel, I want to talk 32 fans, 32 fan bases. We get a lot of love from Detroit. Denver Gator is a diehard LSU Tiger and Kansas City Chiefs fan. So Tommy's, as fans from a lot of teams on Chiefs channel, it's an NFL channel, should join the chat sometime. Best content on the tubes. Man, I appreciate the love. Denver Gators, great guy. I thought you liked Titans over the Jags. Any specific reason why? Henry Factor, Vrabel defense? Yes. Number one, I'm a big fan of Josh Dobbs. I really liked him coming out of Tennessee. I think the offense got something. We're going to resume back to the game, but yes, I did pick the Titans in an upset. I like Titans in an upset. So play resumes here. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs, going right to left on your screen. Mahomes in shotgun motion here. Mahomes almost sacked, gets rid of the ball. It's going to be Kelsey for a 1st down. And Slasher, I believe this is reception number 6 for Kelsey as he catches the ball and is tackled at the 50-yard line. I do not know if you have a yardage play, but if you have over 6.5 receptions, I believe he's at 6 right now. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now with Kelsey. Now, I appreciate that, Tommy. Back to play here. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the Chiefs 49-yard line. It's going to be Pacheco right up the middle, and he's going to power his way for a gain of 8 yards. And I think that what you're going to see here from the Kansas City Chiefs on out is you're going to see a lot of 4-minute offense from the Kansas City Chiefs. You're just going to see the Kansas City Chiefs just try to eat up the clock as they're going to try to protect this 18-point lead. The Chiefs, even though they throw the ball a lot, have one of the bigger, more physical offensive lines in the National Football League, and I expect them to take advantage of it here. We have 4 wide receivers. Kelsey's at the top of the screen here. Mahomes back to pass on 2nd and 2. Mahomes gets a first down. It's MVS over in the middle at the 31. There is a flag on the play. We're going to see what this is. Legal contact against the Raiders. This is obviously going to be declined. First down for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I said that they're going to operate the 4-minute offense. And the standard 4-minute offense, when 2nd and short, that's when you want to go downfield. So I wouldn't surprise me, even though the Chiefs are a heavy pass team, I wouldn't be surprised to see a run right here. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Chiefs 33-yard line. 12:30 and counting down as the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to wrap up that all-important 1 seed. Handoff to Pacheco around the right side. Makes a cut. Breaks field in the open field. He's at the 20. He's at the 15, 10. Pushed out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Very nice run by Isaiah Pacheco, 7th-round pick out of Rutgers, who's had a big impact for the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're going to show this again. And what this is just a simple off-tackle play. And Pacheco makes some very nice moves. He was stopped he was touched at the 20, just shook off the arm tackle. Runs with a lot of power, 220-pound running back out of Rutgers with some good speed. I thought he was at the 6. It was a 31-yard run to the 2-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and goal for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't believe this. Kalen Sanders, the Chiefs defensive tackle, is lined up as the tailback. Number 99, Kalen Sanders, was lined up as the tailback. And what they did is they did a play action pass, and they read this correctly. So what they're doing is they're hoping to catch the Raiders off guard because it was Kalen Sanders. They were hoping to get him out in the flat for a reception. And for those of you who don't know, Kalen Sanders actually used to play quarterback at one point in time. A lot of Chiefs players, Kalen Sanders, a 325-pound defensive tackle, but he did play high school quarterback. And fake Kelsey with the reception, and he's going to be short just in the end zone. Slasher, if you are asking over 6.5, I believe that is reception number 7. For Travis Kelsey. So if you made that prop bet, you just hit. And Kelsey is just short of the end zone. It is the right call. He was tackled right at the half-yard line. They are looking at this because all scoring plays have to be reviewed, and this is potentially a scoring play. But he is just short. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the half-yard line. They're going to get a little creative here. Kansas City shotgun formation. I lied to you. It's just going to be a simple counterplay to Pacheco. It's a touchdown, Kansas City. The reason why I'm not that excited is because you could kind of see it coming. They're showing some white guy with dreads. That's okay. Not my hairstyle personally, but 7 plays, 62 yards, 301, and it is now 30-6. And we're going to wait the extra point here. Pacheco, 170 carries for 830 yards on the year and 5 touchdowns. His 170 carries and 830 rushing yards leads the Kansas City Chiefs. A very nice 7th-round pick out of University of Rutgers. And the extra point is good. Kansas City is up 31-6. Oh, I thought he was a Chiefs fan because he looks like it. Yes, I am wearing it. I am a Chiefs fan. I've been a Chiefs season ticket holder since 1989. However, my YouTube channel, I just talk football, and I want to talk football with all 32 fan bases. I want everybody to come in, whether you're a Raiders fan, Chiefs fan, Cowboys fan, Carolina fan. I want fans from all 32 fan bases. I've been very lucky to have some really awesome Lions fans here. Alex, he's not here today, but he's a Houston Texans regular. Not a fan of the Cowboys, to put it mildly. So I definitely would love to have some Cowboys fan here. Alex is also really awesome. So thank God DeMar Hamlin is doing better. Thank you, Lord. Yes. And I don't have an update specifically, but I've been following that just like everybody else, and it's been fantastic. Dan on the road to 1K subscribers. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Amazement. Yeah, I'm very close. I was at 930 last I looked. So yeah, definitely a Chiefs fan 30 years. Yes. Not just Chiefs. I want all 32 fan bases to join in. Oh my God, it's my girl. Actually, she's not my girl. She is unfortunately not available as she is already married, but if she was my girl. Hey, Dan, showing me some love. Hey, girl, star of Hey Girl TV. If you like fashion, if you like, what was it, fashion? What do you call it? Because I loved your video on men's cologne. I don't know what you would call that. But anyway, I love it. She has a great YouTube channel. So if you're watching this live and you see Hey Girl TV, go ahead and go over to YouTube and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. She has a lot of good advice to you men out there for the right cologne and style, not just for women. Showing some love to my girl here. Class of 1988. My team is the Kinsey. That is awesome to hear. Showing some love to Denver Gator. Okay, so your house is burning down. You have a chance to save only one signed ball, Brady or MJ ball. Which one do you choose? Oh God. I probably say the Brady just because I'm going to assume it's a basketball. I guess it could be a baseball. But I'm going to assume it's a basketball. And I did follow the Bulls during the 90s, but I haven't watched a professional basketball game in about 15 years. So for me personally, it would be Brady. So we're going to get back. Great questions, by the way, guys. Great questions, great comments. Thank you so much. We resume play here. Butker is going to go ahead and kick off for the Raiders. It's going to be Amir Abdullah. He's going to go ahead and get the ball in the end zone, take a knee, and the Raiders are going to start out. 1st and 10 when play resumes at the 25-yard line. And even though the game is essentially over, this is very important for the Raiders to establish momentum going into the offseason. And these last 11 minutes are going to be an audition for Jared Stidham. He's going to have to show the Raiders brass and the coach that he is the guy going forward, because the Raiders are going to have a very good draft pick, and there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out in this year's draft. So these next 11 minutes are crucial to whether the Raiders want to find out if they got their guy in Jared Stidham, or do they want to use the first pick in the draft for a quarterback. It's going to be play action pass here. Stidham wants to go deep, gets Devontae Adams over the middle for about an 18-yard gain here. Very nice pass here by Jared Stidham. Very nice shot of Charles Woodson talking to Mark Davis, the Raiders owner. Charles Woodson, of course, former Oakland Raider and Green Bay Packer Hall of Famer, and the only defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. Yes, he played a little bit of offense for you guys out there, but Charles Woodson, one of my favorite players of all time. 1st and 10 in I formation, fake the handoff, and dump it underneath to Max Hollins as he's thrown out of bounds after a gain of 2. I'm sorry, they're going to mark him at the 46-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of 3 here. Gain of 3 as play resumes here. The clock will not stop until it's under 5 minutes. So the clock will continue. The Raiders they're kind of running a kind of a basic bare bones offense. So they are still going to huddle And they're not running a hurry up offense here. They're kind of in a preseason mode as they really just want to evaluate the quarterback position and some other players right here. Now, if they score a quick touchdown, that may change, but that's kind of where you're at. Stidham back to pass, hits Darren Waller, who juggles it but does catch the ball. It's going to be a first down in Chiefs territory. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the Chiefs 43-yard line. So what they're doing now is that even though they're still huddling, they're kind of just starting to speed up the offense. But the number one thing that you're really wanting to do at this time is that you're really just evaluating Jared Stidham. You're trying to see if you got a guy that you can build your franchise around. Is this a franchise quarterback? And these 9 minutes are going to be a nice evaluation here. Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers to the bottom, Waller to the top. Hits Renfro underneath for a first down. So it's going to be a 1st and 10. And now Stidham's adding some urgency. They're going to go no huddle here as it's going to be 1st and 10 at the Chiefs 30-yard line. It's under 8:40 left in the game. The Chiefs are up 31-6. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 29-yard line. Jared Stidham 4 out of 4 for 46 yards on this drive. Nice throw there to Kenneth Cole. Tackled quickly by Chiefs first-round pick, Trent McDuffie. By the way, the Chiefs are very, very high on Trent McDuffie. Missed a large part of the season with an injury, but since he's come back, he's been inserted in the starting role and played very, very well. Looks like it's going to be 2nd and 5 here for the Raiders. They do huddle, but exit quickly. Under 8 minutes left. Stidham in shotgun formation. Josh Jacobs to his right. Devontae Adams at the bottom of the screen. 2 wide receivers to the top. Jared Stidham back to pass. Just quick dump off to Josh Jacobs, who's going to be pushed out of bounds after a 1-yard gain. This will not stop the clock. The clock will not stop until it's under 5 minutes. The Raiders are the 5th team in NFL history with a 1,500-yard rusher and a 1,500-yard receiver. Josh Jacobs of 1,641 yards rushing on the year will probably lead the NFL in rushing. Shotgun snap, Jared Stidham downfield. Very nice throw here. Devontae Adams squirts forward to the 10-yard line. So on 3rd and 4, a nice completion. Jared Stidham looks really sharp on this drive. If you're watching this and you're wondering why they haven't done this all day, it's because the Chiefs, what they've done is really played a very smart defense. What they were able to do is put pressure on Stidham with only 4. They play aggressive bump man coverage, and then they've lined up with 2 deep safeties. Now they're playing off coverage, allowing the Raiders to complete everything underneath as they're just playing kind of prevent defense. It's 1st and 10 on about the 10.5-yard line. This is Amir Abdullah catching the ball right underneath for a gain of 2. Clock is still, no, they're saying now it looks like it's an incompletion, so the clock's going to stop at 6:40. And they're showing some highlights of the fans here. The Raiders fans, for some reason or another, are jumping around. That's just them. People on their phones. 2nd and 10, 6:40 left here. There's some stoppage of play here as something's going on. I think they're going to review this because it looked originally like it was a reception. Now it is not. 2nd and 10, Stidham's in shotgun formation. Amir Abdullah is to his right. Waller and Adams are at the bottom of the screen. And it throw in the end zone. And it's caught by Waller, but he is out at the back of the end zone. Very smart play by Justin Reed, just pushing him outside. Oh, they're actually calling this a touchdown. I don't think this is a score, but we're going to take a look here. 1. And now I'm not, the referee was right there, but this obviously was not a touchdown. Only 1 foot is in bounds. You got 1, and it is, yeah, they're going to overturn this, folks. So if you're watching this and you're saying, yay, touchdown, no, it's not. I'm kind of surprised because the referee was right at the back of the end zone underneath the goalpost. This was off towards the bottom of the screen here, but this is definitely not a touchdown. They are going to overlook. They're going to go ahead and go over this. Okay, this was quickly ruled and incompletion. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Raiders. It's not 3rd and goal. because it's just inside. They can get inside the 1 for a first down. Shotgun formation. Adams is at the bottom. Waller's lined up in a 3-point stance at the bottom of the screen. 2 other wide receivers to the top. And it's a very nice throw, touchdown, Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow beat rookie Trent McDuffie for the Kansas City Chiefs. Very nice throw, very nice catch for Hunter Renfrow. So 11-yard touchdown for Hunter Renfrow. And if you're wondering why the Raiders haven't been doing this the whole time, it's because what the Chiefs were doing was press man with safeties over top. Now that the game is pretty much over, the Chiefs have lightened up on the secondary. And what they're doing is they're playing prevent defense. This was man defense. This was just a really, really good throw and catch by Hunter Renfrow. So what I mentioned was that they're going to go ahead and just evaluate Jared Stidham. And that's a very good evaluation. Jared Stidham made some really nice throws. So even though it's 31-13 and the Chiefs are going to win this football game, you saw some really nice things from Jared Stidham that he looks like after that series. Even if you do draft a quarterback, it looks like the season will start with Jared Stidham as a starter. And if you're a Raiders fan, you kind of got to like it because, I mean, you got a guy with some athleticism and some size. So Jared Stidham does look impressive, even though they only scored 13 points. My man, Dan. Fashion, lifestyle, and fragrance. Yes. Yes. Honestly, I would probably die trying to save both, Dan. You know, the question was one or the other, but it's a football and a basketball. I have 2 hands. So Michael Jordan all day long for a signed ball. I'm a fan of some Chiefs players, but I like my Chiefs, but my Cowboys are first. Cowboys Nation, DC for life. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. And by the way, that's going to be a fun game, Cowboys Bucks. Unless Philly loses, and then that's it. Stidham is not him. Do you agree with Derek Carr being benched and most likely traded? If traded, what team would Carr benefit from a team who's in need of a quarterback this year? Okay. Number one, I'm not in favor of the Carr benching. It's a financial decision. So I'm not a fan of it at all. I like Derek Carr. I always say, if you follow my channel long enough, I say this quite a bit. But here's what you want. If you don't have a top 10 quarterback, you want to get a top 10 quarterback. And I think Derek Carr is just on the cusp of being a top 10 quarterback. Towards the end of the season, his play did drop, but I don't think he's on Mahomes' level. He's not going to be on Justin Herbert's level. He's never going to be that guy. Is he a top 10 quarterback? I think he is. He kind of struggled this year, but the Raiders had some problems with the offensive line. There was injuries. The defense isn't very good. And I don't agree with it. The short answer is no, I don't agree with it, but it's a financial decision. So what they're going to do is that they're going to probably draft a quarterback. But Stidham showed enough, I think, in this game that he'll open up 2023 as the starting quarterback, but the Raiders are going to bring someone else in. Which team would benefit from Derek Carr? There's a lot of different teams that would benefit, but we're going to go ahead and resume back to the game here. It looks like the Raiders are going to attempt an onside kick. It's 31-13, 6:37 left. The inside squib is going to be recovered by the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs played that perfectly. One of the staples of the Kansas City Chiefs have been excellent special teams play. This season, it's been a little shaky, but in the past, the Chiefs have one of the best special teams units in the National Football League. So here's the way it works for a neutral site for an AFC championship. If the Chiefs and Bills win and they both meet in the AFC championship, then it would be at a neutral site. If the Bills lose Sunday, the Chiefs get the 1 seed and home field throughout the playoffs. So back to play here. Mahomes is in shotgun formation. 1st and 10 at the Raiders 43. Handoff to Ronald Jones. He's going to power forward for a gain of 5. And here on out, you're probably going to see just the standard 4-minute offense. You're just going to see the standard 4-minute offense. It's just going to be a very easy, very quick, very easy, time-consuming drive. You're not wanting to do anything overly crazy here. All you're really wanting to do is just eat up the clock. The Raiders did call a timeout. Kind of interesting, to be perfectly honest, especially at this much left in the game. But it's going to be second down, 6:29 left in the fourth quarter as we go to a commercial break. So the question is, which team would Carr benefit from who's in need of a quarterback? This is going to be very interesting because my initial thought was the Houston Texans, because I think what's going to happen is I think the Houston Texans are going to – now keep in mind the Houston Texans do have the first pick in the draft, but if they win and the Bears lose, the Bears would get the first pick in the draft. Now, the Bears aren't going to draft a quarterback, but the Houston Texans are. Probably are going to take a quarterback. I don't agree with that. I would roll with Davis Mills. I'm a huge Davis Mills fan. So – but it looks like the Houston Texans would draft a quarterback. All right. So in that situation, I would send Carr to Houston on a one-year deal if you can agree for Carr to get that one-year deal. And what he would do is that he would go ahead, he would get the one-year deal. He would go to Houston. Remember, his brother went ahead and David Carr was the first pick by the Houston Texans when they started the franchise. So I think it would be kind of nice. He would do a one-year deal in hopes that if he played well, he would have the opportunity to be a starter in 2024 for another team. That's one scenario. Another scenario, somebody mentioned in my live stream, is the Jets. That's an interesting place for him. You could have an injury situation occur where Derek Carr may get signed mid-season. That's a possibility. I'm going to throw some curveballs at you. Tua's concussion situation is really bad, and he retires. Well, Derek Carr to Miami makes a lot of sense then. Derek Carr to Carolina also makes a lot of sense. We're going to have to see what happens. We're going to have to see what happens in the draft. It wouldn't surprise me if he's not able to be traded, but he's just flat out cut. And then what happens is that he doesn't get signed until around July or August. And it's going to be maybe late and may have to wait for an injury. So we're going to get back to the game here. Patrick Mahomes is in shotgun formation. Three wide receivers, including Kelsey to his left, Juju Smith to his right. Ronald Jones is to his right. Mahomes is going to pass. Mahomes is going deep for MVS. And I'm not really sure why they do that. Excellent play by the Raiders corner, number 21. That's Armstead. So the Chiefs went downfield. I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100%. Sure. That's not Armstead. That's Robertson. I'm sorry. I should have the Raiders secondary memorized a little better. Error on my part. I'm not sure why the Chiefs went downfield. I thought that they would just kind of eat up the clock here, but they took a shot for whatever reason. So it's going to be a 3rd and 5 at the Raiders' 38-yard line. Mahomes in shotgun formation. McKinnon takes over as the running back. Mahomes looks like he's trying for a screen play and is sacked. Combination of Jared Tillery, and they show a Chiefs fan just with her hand over her face. The Raiders' second sack. It's a common. I thought it was Tillery, but they're showing Klein Farrell. Basically, the Raiders collapsed the pocket. And what it was is that the Chiefs were trying to get McKinnon on a screenplay, and there just wasn't enough time. Nice defense by the Raiders as they just went ahead and brought in 5 and closed all the passing lanes for Mahomes. So Mahomes took a sack. So it's going to be 4th and 16. The Raiders took a timeout, so there's going to be 6:18 left in the fourth quarter with one timeout. And again, and I've mentioned this before, is that the Raiders really want to evaluate. And I thought it was a fair catch, but he doesn't. Renfro doesn't catch it. Catching the ball at the 10, I thought it was a fair catch. He ended up going forward for a gain of 8. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 18-yard line. And again, you want to see what Stidham can do in a real-life situation. To keep in mind, the Chiefs aren't going to do their standard defense. They're going to play prevent defense, and they're going to allow the Raiders to dink and dunk downfield, because ultimately what you're wanting to do is just eat up the clock. I don't agree with those Chiefs calls. I just would have ran the ball and ate up some clock. Instead, you give the Raiders the ball back with 6:07 left in the fourth quarter, even though you have an 18-point lead. Still wouldn't recommend it. Shotgun, and they're going to give Josh Jacobs the carry here. Josh Jacobs gets a first down. Gain of 13 adds to his rushing title, which looks to be safe and secure. But keep in mind, Derrick Henry has had a 200-yard game against the Jaguars before, and we're going to see that game here in just about an hour. So it's going to be 1st and 10. The Raiders are in hurry-up offense at the 30-yard line. Stidham, shotgun formation, drops it off to Josh Jacobs, and he drops the ball here. Probably good, to be honest with you, because he looks like he would have been stopped for a gain of 5 inbounds, and clock would have kept going. So instead, the Raiders get a chance to huddle up, and they'll be able to see what they have here. But they'll be able to huddle up and kind of regroup here as the Raiders are going to try to get a touchdown here. It looks like. We'll see what the Raiders are trying to do. Shotgun snap, Stidham. He's going to, and it's a fumble. And this is a little confusing because Chris Jones just kind of watched the ball. He didn't die for the ball. I don't know if he just didn't care or if they ruled it an incompletion, and I heard a whistle. But what happened is Stidham bounced forward, and it was Mike Dana, who's having a great game, went ahead and got the ball knocked out. But for some reason, Chris Jones just kind of looked at it. Okay, it was an incompletion. So it's going to be 3rd and 10, shotgun formation. Davante Adams is going to be to the left. It's going to be trips with Waller in the slot. Renfro motions up to be at the top of the trip formation. Stidham back to pass, hits Renfro, and Renfro is going to be short of the first down, and there's multiple flags here. Looks like a possible face mask on one of the Chiefs here. 2 flags were thrown at the end of the tackle, so that's usually an indication of a face mask, and that's exactly what the call is. So it would have been short of the first down, but now it's an automatic first down, and it was Nick Bolton. Oh boy, it's an obvious face mask. That's actually kind of scary to see because his head did snap back. Doesn't look like it was an intentional dirty play. Just looks like it was just an unfortunate play. Hunter Renfro's had a very nice game today. So it's going to be 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory. It's going to be on the 46-yard line. 1st and 10, 4:49 left in the fourth quarter. Chiefs are up 31-13. Stidham's going to be back to pass. Pressure by Saunders, and Stidham wisely throws the ball down. Just does a little shuffle pass here just to get the ball out. Very smart play by Stidham. And this is what you're wanting to see. You're wanting to see if the game's too big for him. You're wanting to see how the kid reacts. I mean, he's put in a bad situation against a defense that's going to put pressure on him. And he got up from one play limping, and there is another flag on the play. Intentional grounding by the Raiders. I'll be honest, I thought he was outside the pocket. There's been some very questionable calls in this game. I thought he was outside the pocket. I liked the play. I was just complimenting Stidham on it because here's the rule. If you're outside the tackle box, you can throw the ball away. Maybe it was because he just did a shuffle pass and it wasn't past the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 2nd and 21 here, back in their own territory on the 43-yard line. Stidham's going to be back to pass here. Pressure, and he gets rid of the ball. Very nice throw, but slightly behind Davante Adams. Davante Adams puts his hand on his head. He knows, being one of the top receivers in the NFL, he probably should have had that. It would have been a very tough catch. It would have been a very, very, very tough catch. But Davante Adams kind of shown some indication that maybe he should have got it. So it's going to be 3rd and 21 here 4:38 is going to be left in the game. And which, again, what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to see what you got in Jared Stidham. You're wanting to see how he handles it and how he looks in kind of a tough situation. And this is what you do when you want to evaluate a player, especially a young quarterback. And they're stopping the game here. They're going to move. So what they're doing is they're stopping the game. They're taking Davante Adams out of the game. So what this is a new protocol. New York monitors all the games. They monitor the players. And when it looks like a player's had a head injury, they want to take him out of the game. So what happened is in this play is he got hit and Davante Adams' head hit the ground. And so when Adams went like this, they indicated they looked like it was some sort of head injury. Davante Adams is going into the tent. He looks more frustrated than having an injury, but you never can be too cautious. Shotgun snap here. Stidham's going to be back to pass on 3rd and 21. Goes downfield, and he threw the ball right to rookie Trent McDuffie, who wanted a interception. I don't remember if he's had one yet or if that would have been his first one. He is kind of giving that look because he looks like he should have had the pick, and that was a mistake by Stidham as he threw the ball directly to the rookie corner, Trent McDuffie. So we are going to see 4th and 21 coming up here for the Raiders once play resumes here. Stidham is lined up, 2 wide receivers to the bottom, Waller in a slot, and there's a Hollins to the top. Chris Jones has pressure, and Chris Jones is going to get the sack. Chris Jones is the Chiefs fans are just, or the Chiefs players are waving to the fans. Chris Jones has just been unstoppable. What they did is they put him at they lined up in what's commonly called the wide 9 defense, and they put Chris Jones in what's called the 5 gap or the B gap, depending on which kind of formation you want to use. And they put him 1-on-1, and they have not been able to stop him all day. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Jones is taking the knee. He looks gassed after that play. So they are showing there's more Chiefs fans and Raiders fans. One of the Chiefs defensive linemen holding Chris Jones an oxygen mask. And Patrick Mahomes is no longer playing. We're going to see some backups for the Kansas City Chiefs. Ronald Jones takes the quarterback snap, and we see Chad Henne in there. He's going to get some action. Doesn't play very often, but the Chiefs are up 31-13 with what looks like the number 1 seed in the AFC is now officially wrapped up. So we're going to see Chad Henne, and that play was a direct snap to Ronald Jones. So that's going to be a gain of 9, and we're going to see some backup wide receivers coming in. Looks like Ronald Jones is probably going to get the bulk of the carries for the rest of the game here. He takes a handoff, and he's going to power forward for a 1st down. And we're just going to see the clock tick down as Patrick Mahomes' day is over. He finishes 18 out of 26, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, completions to 8 different receivers. And he's talking to somebody on the sidelines. I think it's the sideline reporter. Chris Jones is talking, but he's also still gassed. Great play. He's been unstoppable today. Great game for Chris Jones. So it's going to be 1st and 10 inside of 3 minutes. Chad Henne, they're putting in some backups on the offensive line. This is basically like preseason right now. You're going to see some backups in here. It's going to be a handoff in shotgun formation to Ronald Jones. Takes a hit at the line of scrimmage, corkscrews for a gain of 2 here. A really nice run by Ronald Jones here. I know a 2-yard run doesn't sound like much, but he was hit at the line of scrimmage and then fought his way for an extra yard. I really like that. Ronald Jones, a player I really liked out of USC. And like I said earlier in the live stream, he was a player that demanded a trade. The Chiefs just said, nah, You're just going to stay. We're just going to keep you inactive. And now he's on the roster, and he's having an impact for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's 2nd and 9 as we're going to go under 2:15 left in the game. Chad Henne's going to hand off to Ronald Jones, and the Raiders get him back behind the line of scrimmage. Max Crosby on the play as the Chiefs are we got some offensive line players coming in, multiple offensive line. Basically, this is a preseason game as we approach the 2-minute warning. This game, for all intents and purposes, is over 31-13 at the 2-minute warning, and Kansas City is up. And it looks like in 2 minutes, Kansas City will be the 1 seed in the AFC. Are you sure you want to call it Waller after? I'll be honest. If it was one game, I would take Waller, but for a season, I would take Pitts. And Pitts, I think, could be something really special. Man, why are Raiders fans like that? They don't wear and order stuff like fans like guys with spikes, ladies with dress. Yeah, the Raiders fans have always been special. Mom, meatloaf. Yeah, I was. I feel bad because I forgot that I have an Amazon drop-off. So the way the lighting is set up, it should be obvious that I'm doing something. I used to have the blue lights on, and I thought about putting a sign on my door saying live broadcast, but the guy was just dropping off a package. It may be stolen now. You never know. Dan, I got that revolver problem solver. If somebody interrupts your stream again, the nerve of the person. I know. What's going on? Do you like onside kicks? I remember one league that had 4th and 15 plays instead of kicking onside kick. Okay, so this has been something the NFL has been toying around with for a long time, that instead of an onside kick, you can do a 4th and 15. And so they implemented that either in the XFL or the USFL, and it's something that is going to come into the NFL competition committee. So the way it's going to work out is that I don't see it coming, but it's something that keeps getting introduced. And I think the USFL is going to have this in play for their season, which I was a big fan of the USFL. I thought it was pretty good. Prop bet, Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Sunshine, over 280 yards passing. Ooh, boy. God, that's a big number. But a lot of the Titans secondary is out. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. That's a big number. But since I do predict a Tennessee Titans win, I would say yes. I'll be honest, I wouldn't make that bet, but I think it hits. Oh, this is such a good story here. Damar Hamlin's charity, which his goal was to get 25,000, is now hit 8 million. Oh, man, this is awesome. Back to play here. Henne's going to hand off to Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is going to bust to the outside. Ronald Jones running hard. Oh, my God. On 3rd and 10, he gets the first down. That's going to end the game. I'd be shocked if the Raiders used their final timeout. And by the way, this was a great run by Ronald Jones. He could have been stopped multiple times, just powered forward and got the first down on 3rd and 10 as the Raiders still have their starters out there. And they're just going to take a knee here. And they're just going to take a knee here. They're showing some Bills fans in the stadium, which is awesome. Maybe they just got Bills jerseys, some babies here, and they are going to take a knee here as this game is over. So the Kansas City Chiefs lock up the 1 seed. We'll have to wait till tomorrow to find out if the Chiefs get home field throughout the playoffs. The way it works, if the Bills beat the Patriots and the Bills play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, it would be held on neutral ground, more than likely be held at Lucas Oil Stadium, home of the Indianapolis Colts. If the Bills lose to the Patriots tomorrow, and by the way, the game's a win and in for the Patriots. If the Patriots beat the Bills, the Patriots secure the 7th spot. So the way it would work is that the Patriots would secure the 7th spot, and the Bills would no longer have that neutral field opportunity against the Kansas City Chiefs. So the game between the Bills and the Patriots is a big game for both the Bills and the Patriots, as the Bills will have the opportunity to play the Kansas City Chiefs neutral territory. Trust me, If you have a choice between playing neutral ground or coming to Arrowhead, you'd much rather take neutral ground. So the Kansas City Chiefs clinched the first round, clinched number 1 seed. They clinch a bye. This is a big win for the Kansas City Chiefs. Very exciting for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't have word for you, Slasher, about this. I think you won. I believe it's 7, but I don't know. Marty, man, welcome, brother, man. It's great to see some new people here. Carr won't get traded. Every team knows they have to cut in by a certain date anyway, save a cap hit. They burnt the bridge. Now McSuckles has to trust a trading principle for a month. Yeah, you're 100% right. Everybody knows what's going on. So what's going to happen is that he's going to get released. There's an outside possibility that maybe some team offers a 6th or a 7th, but I don't think so. Bottom line, Derek Carr is no longer going to be part of the Raiders franchise. It's just a question of when. I don't know if they have to cut him after June 1st or when it'll happen, but it's no longer going to be. Basically, the way it's going to work is that he's no longer with the Raiders, and it's going to be one of the interesting stories, one of many interesting stories. This offseason is just going to be a fantastic storyline for a bunch of different players. Derek Carr's one of them. Jacobs is another. I mean, there's a lot of big names and big players that are going to be with different teams next year. So it's going to be a great offseason. And if you're new to my channel, Marty, because I don't recognize the name, I do a lot of draft content, and I'm going to go live every Friday during off season. So we're going to go ahead and go over free agency. We're going to go over draft. We're going to go over all the team changes. Before every season, I do all 32 teams. I break them down. I talk about what I like and what I don't like. And I'm going to do a lot of draft comments. I'm leaning towards, for the draft, just doing a weekly video. Just picks maybe 1 through 4, and then next week 5 through 8. So Chris Jones is a problem. Honestly, I'm putting him over Fletcher Cox already. Chris Jones is really good, Slasher, and hopefully your bet picked. Oh man, oh dude, I thought it was 7. I thought you won, and it's a $5 bet. So yeah, Chris Jones is easily the Chiefs' best defensive lineman, and he is a big problem. He is a big problem. He's a huge problem for the AFC. Huge problem for the AFC. And they're showing some of the Chiefs and the Raiders players. This isn't the old school rivalry. These guys like each other. I have a lot of respect for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they've done an excellent job. Kind of a bad situation. They got a lot of work to do, but really like the direction that they're going. I don't like the quarterback situation, and they do have to I think they are going to re-sign Jacobs, but I like the way that what they're doing in the direction of the franchise. So, oh my God, Candy says I did a good job. I love Candy. Candy is amazing. Unfortunately, Candy is married, or else me and Candy would run off together. So that's no, I'm teasing. Candy is married to my personal hero in life. Her husband Jeff is my absolute hero. I love the dude. Has fantastic hair, just like I do. Has this awesome truck, and just sits around, plays the guitar. I can't play any musical instrument, and he's a world-class cook. The guy is just my hero, and he married a hottie, and Candy is a hottie. Candy is so good to see you here. It's been way too long since we've hung out. Do tell Jeff I said hi. Hopefully he is not offended by that comment. So, sorry about that, man. I want to get, those Hamlin shirts are awesome. Those Hamlin shirts are awesome. And it's awesome that is charity. I really like how everybody's kind of bonded together behind this guy. And that it's good to see positivity on social media instead of negativity. So, yeah. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be a close game. If you paid attention, I said that the Raiders would cover. They did not cover. They did not cover. The Chiefs' defense had no problems with the Raiders, and the Chiefs' offense for the first half was just unstoppable. Second half, but the Chiefs play like this, they'll advance to a Super Bowl. These are C4 energy drinks. I got a link in the description. Get them on Amazon. Amazon's having a sale on them right now. Matter of fact, that's what that knock at the door was, I think, is another order. I kind of forgot about it. So sugar-free C4 energy drinks. These things are amazing. Sugar-free. They taste delicious. I get strawberry Starburst. It is fantastic. I'm not a big enough channel that if you click on the link, you get a discount, but it's something I use. And if I put something in the description below, these are all things I use. I don't promote anything I don't use myself. So Tommy's having some great comments in here, man. Tommy, welcome to the channel, man. Your stuff's been absolutely great. I really hope I hear more from you. Raider season was a disaster. Carr had no excuses this year. He had Devontae Adams, top 5 tight end, and a lead rusher in the league with Josh Jacobs. I'm going to argue that because he missed their tight end, Darren Waller. He missed half the season. All right. He missed half the season. The offensive line had some injuries. The defense was not good. I thought it was unrealistic for the Raiders to be put in a situation where they were going to compete with the Chiefs. Now, if you follow my channel, I thought the Raiders would be the second best team in the AFC West. I said that all year. I thought they were going to be better than the Chargers. They're in a tough spot because now you have to build around a quarterback. You have to I think you have to re-sign Jacobs. That has to be a priority. You have to fix some holes on defense. You got your linchpin in Max Crosby. You need somebody to help out on that defensive line. Denzel Perryman, who went to a Pro Bowl last year, he missed a few games. He's a very solid inside linebacker. You need some pieces in the secondary. Here's what the Raiders need. They need some pieces in the secondary. All right, here's what I would recommend. Number one question about the Raiders is you got to figure out what to do with the quarterback. Number one, I think what you do is you roll with Stidham, but you either draft somebody or maybe you need a free agent. Okay, maybe there's a free agent. Jimmy G, who's a hop, skip, and a jump away. That's an interesting name. Do you want to make a trade for somebody like had a brain freeze here. I can't believe Zach Wilson for the Jets. Do you want to roll the dice with somebody like Zach Wilson? I've been hearing a lot of Tom Brady will be the quarterback of the Raiders next year. I don't see that personally. I really don't, but it would be fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it'd be a lot of fun to see Brady as a Raider for 1 year. Why not? I mean, shoot. Brady hangs out, and Brady's single now. Why wouldn't he want to hang out in Vegas? So quarterback situation is number one. Number two, I really think you got to re-sign Josh Jacobs. I really think that you got to re-sign Josh Jacobs. I think that's important. You re-sign Josh Jacobs. And then number three, you got to fix that offensive line. Remember 2 years ago, they used a first-round draft pick on Alex Leatherwood. He was supposed to be a stalwart on the right side. And remember, here's what happened, all right? They got a good left tackle on Colton Miller. All right, he was a first-round pick, I want to say 5 years ago out of UCLA. He's a very good left tackle. So then they signed Trent Brown from the Patriots. They gave him like a 4-year, $84 million deal on the right side, banged up. He ended up being traded back to the Patriots. So then they used their first-round pick, number 17 overall, and Alex Leatherwood. They thought it was going to be a plug-and-play on the right side. I thought it was. Complete disaster. He ended up getting cut. I mean, you're a first round pick and you're not even on the team 2 years later. That's a disaster. You had a Pro Bowl center who, I'm drawing a blank on his name now. Rodney Hudson. I'm sorry. You had a Pro Bowl center. You let him go as a cap casualty. He's in Arizona. You didn't really fix that. Your first pick, your third round pick, which is your first pick in the draft, the guy out of Memphis, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. He's a solid player, but you have some holes on the offensive line that you need to fix. And then you still have holes in the secondary. So I mean, I think it was 4 things. I was trying to come up with 5, but here's what you need to do if you're the Raiders. Number 1, quarterback situation. You got to figure out what you're going to do there. Do you roll with Stidham? Do you want to go with Brady? Do you want to go with Jimmy G? Do you draft somebody? Because if you draft somebody in the first round, then you definitely want to keep Stidham around. And then what do you do after that season? Do you try to trade Stidham? Do you tell him, hey, welcome back to the bench? Do you take a rookie and start him day one? That's something that a lot of people want to do in the NFL now is that, hey, you're a rookie first-round pick, trial by fire, get out there. Kenny Pickett started, and he might lead Pittsburgh to the playoffs. You never know. So, matter of fact, you also have a situation in Tennessee with Josh Dobbs. Does he play well enough that another team wants to bring him in to compete for a starting job? That's going to be interesting. So, Hunter Renfrow is the tight end for the Raiders. I meant. Well, I think I got what you mean, Hunter Renfrow. So he was banged up a lot of the season too. So you have a Pro Bowl slot receiver. You have Devontae Adams. You have Darren Waller, the Pro Bowl tight end. I get what you're saying. They have some holes, and I think they're a team that has a lot of holes going into the offseason. But overall, I kind of like what they're doing. And I know it sounds a little crazy, but you have your franchise left tackle. All right. And if you followed me for a while, I always repeat the same things. And I say the things over and over and over again. You need 3 things to win a Super Bowl. You need 3 things. You need a quarterback. The Raiders have to figure that out. You need a left tackle. The Raiders have that. Colton Miller's a really good left tackle. Very good left tackle. Number 3, you need an edge rusher. Now, I have a guy comes on the show every now and then. He didn't join today. Keys, he has a channel, Back Talk Brothers. If you check out the description and you check out my about page, his channel's listed on there. He'll tell you he thinks it's more important for an interior. I think it's an external. I think you need an edge rusher, and I think that's more important than a defensive tackle. Basically, you need somebody to get it after the quarterback. Get it after the quarterback. That's not a good sentence. So here I am showing you my lack of education the first time I get to talk to you. But basically, you need somebody who can get your ass after the quarterback. So I think it's an edge rusher. If you tell me, give me like Aaron Donald instead of an edge rusher, sure. But I mean, there's not too many Aaron Donalds out there. So those are the 3 things that you need. And the Raiders have 2 of them. All right. Now, if they believe in Stidham, they're going to get a very high draft pick. So, and that very high draft pick, you can fix up the offensive line. There's some good corners in this draft. You can get a really good corner. There's some really good edge rushers. Do you want to put somebody opposite Max Crosby? That's another thing. I do a lot of draft stuff. So if you're a fan of the NFL draft, tune in. So, by the way, Tommy, man, great comments today, man. I really hope to see you again. We need more Cowboys fans here in this community, so I really hope to see you again. I like the Titans. It looks like Derrick Henry's going to play. So, in my opinion, Titans need to nuke the roster. Well, it's going to be interesting because what they have is they got a superstar in Jeffrey Simmons. He was banged up. They have a lot of injuries in the secondary. So you have a lot of injuries in the secondary. It's questionable what you need to do. Offensive line, to keep losing starters every offseason. Derrick Henry costs a lot of money. And you now have to figure out what you're going to do at quarterback. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Joshua Dobbs plays well, and I think he's going to have a good game. This is why I like the Titans. I really like Joshua Dobbs. I think you move on from Tannehill, right? You got Malik Willis. He's your future. I think Josh Dobbs might have a possibility of becoming the starter. And I think what you do is I think you move on from Tannehill. Dobbs and I just said his name and I already forgot it. I'm bad with names, by the way, guys. Malik Willis, I'm sorry. I think you take Dobbs and Malik Willis and have them fight for the quarterback spot, because eventually it's going to be Malik Willis unless he's just a disaster. But you can win with Dobbs, and you're going to find that out in this game. Now, of course, Dobbs lays an egg, then all this is mute. But I think he's going to have a good game. So what you do is that you have your quarterback. Guys like Derrick Henry, don't last long. I mean, they just don't. I think that we're seeing Derrick Henry, like, this is the best we're going to see him. It's just downhill from here. When you're that big and that strong and you take that much punishment, you can't really you can't play. I mean, he's aging fast, unfortunately. Yeah, you need another wide receiver. Even though I am a big fan of Treylon Burks, he was my number one wide receiver coming out of the draft. But I think you need somebody else. And then you have some free agents at linebackers. So that's going to be interesting. The Titans offseason is going to be very interesting. But the team with the biggest upside is the Jaguars. Easily the team with the most upside in this division. The question is it now or is it later? So, man, if Rondé doesn't get in the Hall of Fame, Dan, I'm going to lose my mind again. How isn't he in already? I understand Revis getting in on first ballot, but Rondé's numbers are actually better. I'm going to tell you something. When the Hall of Fame announcements came out last year, I circled the first two names were Zach Thomas and Andre Johnson, and neither one of those guys got in. And I was floored. How does Zach Thomas not get in the Hall of Fame? I couldn't believe it. But the number one guy was Andre Johnson. And I understand he played at Houston, but if you watched Andre Johnson play, he's the definition of Hall of Famer. I mean, he was just amazing. He's the very definition of a Hall of Famer. How he did not get in the first ballot blew my mind. So there's a lot of guys that deserve to get in on the first ballot. You have Joe Thomas. You have Darrelle Revis. I haven't gone through the whole list. I need to go through the whole list. But last year when Andre Johnson and Zach Thomas did not get in, that blew my mind. There's some old-time players I can mention. There's about 10 to 15 old-time players that deserve to get in. I think the NFL really dropped the ball by not putting Cliff Branch and Snake in while they're still alive. That really irks me. Otis Taylor, Chiefs don't win a Super Bowl without Otis Taylor. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of other names. That we can talk about. The Hall of Fame discussion is a tough one. But Rondé Barber is a guy that needs to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There's a few of them. You need a coach. McVay retiring at 36. Wow, wonder what other interests he's got. I know he like married a supermodel like last year. I think McVay, the thing is about McVay is that he can go into TV. He can go into college if he wants to. I don't think he has any college experience, but the thing is that college teams are offering just as much as NFL teams money wise. So, who knows? There's been talk about McVay retiring, and I don't think he will. Have an aging running back. Yeah. Willis has to kind of feel bad because he was there before Dobbs and he's already starting. We always knew Willis was a project, though. This is interesting because you have to figure out Willis was a project, but I really love Dobbs. Dobbs was a fourth round pick coming out of Tennessee, a guy I absolutely loved. Dobbs coming out of college, and I thought he was going to be the replacement for Ben Roethlisberger, but Ben Roethlisberger kept on playing, and he didn't seize the opportunity. But he's getting a shot now, and I really like this guy. I really, really, really like this guy. Dobbs is a guy, he's very smart. He's got a good arm. He's got above average athleticism. It's funny because his major is, I don't know the exact name of it, but basically he is a rocket scientist. He got like a 4.0 in like aerial dynamics, or basically he could design space shuttles or something. But yeah, I'm sorry to say it. I hate to say it, but Willis won't make it as a starter in the NFL. I played against a mediocre conference, could barely pass for over 3,200 yards. I understand he had a bad receiving core. He's a raw guy, and you have to figure out what to do with him. And honestly, I think Dobbs is going to get a good shot. And yeah. By the way, Slasher's given, but you have to figure out what he's going to do, because here's the drill. Maybe he's just not making the steps necessary to improve. Remember, he was a 3rd round pick. There's a lot of 3rd round picks that just don't get to be starters in the NFL. But he was going against scrubs out there. I get it. And we're going to find this out. We're going to have to see if he makes the step up or not. Corner, Darrelle Revis. Offensive tackle, Joe Thomas, Willie Anderson, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, Jared Allen, DeMarcus Ware, Zach Thomas, Dwight Freeney. Oh, God, all those guys. And there's more. There's more that should be in. I can think of a few. I already mentioned Otis Taylor. I think Cliff Branch got in this last year. This guy by the name of Albert Lewis, you probably never heard of, who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, one of my all-time favorite corners. There's so many good players. Oh, yeah. Albert Lewis deserves in. Rondé Barber, Patrick Willis, 100% belongs in. I think Darren Woodson, probably out of all those guys, Woodson, who I think is a Hall of Fame caliber player, should be in too, and he's probably the guy I'd put in last. New York trading Kadarius Toney will go down as the dumbest trade of all. No Cap J, man, welcome to the show. I just did the Chiefs Raiders. I'm going to sign off, but I love this type of stuff, man. If you're new, man, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'm going to tune out here in just I'm going to tune off here in just a few minutes, but man, I'm glad to see you, man. By the way, no cap, man. Anytime you want to come on, you want to talk any of 32 teams, because I don't recognize the name, man. Love to have you on, man. Some people are saying the Pats will fire Bill. There's always people saying things. I think his 6 or 7 Super Bowls secured him a spot. Also, if they beat the Bills on Sunday, they do make the playoffs. The Patriots have a win in game, and the Bills, even if they win the game, they don't get home field throughout the playoffs. The question is, are they the 2 seed or are they the 3 seed? Because they can still lose the game, and if the Ravens beat the Bengals, then they still have the 2 spot. So, Patriots Bills is going to be a very interesting game. When is Ocho Cinco going into the Hall of Fame? I'm going to say never. And the reason why I say never is I remember Hard Knocks, and it was a great moment. I apologize. I feel like something just flew into my eye. If you remember Hard Knocks, and it was one of the best moments on television when he was fired by the Miami Dolphins, which ended his NFL career as part of a domestic violence incident. And the NFL is not going to reward that, being you're fired from the NFL because of a domestic violence incident, a public domestic violence incident, especially when you're a fringe Hall of Fame anyway. So the answer is going to be never. And it's sad to say, but that's just the way of the world. Especially now. And I kind of don't want to fringe too far away here, because I didn't let a guy I put a guy in timeout because he was talking about hot topics in the world today. So I don't want to break my own rule and do a talk about hot topic in the NFL, but seriously, 30, 40 years ago, you got in trouble for domestic violence and it was no big deal, but it's a different day. And that's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing that we're taking a stand against domestic violence. Personally, if it didn't happen, there would be some talk. But because his career ended, I remember on Hard Knocks, they brought him in and they fired him and he was crying, and the coaches didn't like it. The players didn't like it, but had to be done. And that's the type of culture that we're in nowadays. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but he'll never get into a Hall of Fame. The fact Eli Manning is in the Hall of Fame is just crazy to me. I actually didn't think he was in the Hall of Fame, to be honest. I don't think Eli Manning is in the Hall of Fame. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's not. If I'm wrong, I have no problem. I'm pretty sure he's not. Did Woodson get in the Hall of Fame? I'm talking about Charles. Yes. Yeah, he got in. Listen, you are 100% correct. And by the way, One Pride, this is something I'd like to do more on my channel is talk about men and some of the struggles that we go through. Men commit suicide at a much higher rate than women do, but nobody cares. It's okay. Who is it Nicki Minaj who admitted that, her and some friend used to just date rape men and rob them, and it's like, ha, that's funny. You put a man's life at risk just to steal a few dollars, and it's a joke. Where if a man joked about doing that, there would be a FBI investigation tomorrow. There's oh yeah, Cardi B. That's okay. I'm sorry, I said Nicki Minaj. It was Cardi B. I'm sorry. I'm not really big into pop culture, but when I heard that, and seriously, they joked about it. It was like, oh, it's funny. Yeah, we date raped this guy and stole all this money. Ha 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 ha. But if me and you get on YouTube, oh yeah, man, we date raped that girl, stole her wallet and her purse, and we went out and had some drinks. There would be an FBI investigation. Yeah, and I thought about doing a lot of men stuff because I think it's hard for men in today's world to adapt to things and to handle things. Men struggle in the dating world. I'm 5'8", and if I go ahead, I'm a good-looking guy. All right, I'm a good-looking guy. I go on dating app. I know that there's probably going to be 70% of women, because I don't lie about my height. I mean, I'm 5'8". I wear cowboy boots a lot, so I look a little taller, but I can't hide I'm short. There's a lot of women who be like, no, he's good-looking, but 5'8". Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But so there was a channel. There was something that pointed out that a girl was asking this guy, and she's like, "Are you really 6 foot?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm really 6 foot." And he's like, "You're not like 5'10". No, I'm 6 foot. And he goes, "Well, what's your waist size?" "Why does that matter?" "Well, you just grilled me on my height. I can't grill you on your weight." And the messed up thing is, I can't control my height. Women can't control their weight. So, it's perfectly acceptable for a woman to shame men because of their height, but I can't shame a woman because of her weight, because that's wrong. And I'd like to talk about more things like that. It's not really my place. So I can just keep it just football. But yeah. BLC0310 is funny, man. We just had a Cowboys fan on here, so this is awesome, man. I'm glad to see you, man. I'm really glad to see you. People never want to take life serious until it's too late. No Cap J, you're 100% correct, man. One of the guys, the reason why I got a lot of Detroit Lions love is from my boy Luke G. And before every show, he puts out something about suicide prevention, and he has a saying that I've stolen and used several times, where it's, "I want to hear from you. I don't want to hear about you." And that's something that transcends sports and transcends football. And I just it's not something I'm really an expert about, but it is something I thought about maybe talking about a little more. Is just trying try to make try to kind of build men up, because it's not cool to be a man and say, "Hey man, I need some help. Hey man, I'm struggling with something." It's not cool, hey, I'm a guy. 90-something% of my following is guys, and if I can make an impact in a positive way, I'd like to do so. But I only know football, but I thought about doing more of that. I watched a TikTok where a girl said she dated a guy for 6 months and broke his heart to hurt his ego and said it is a flat. Yeah. There's a lot of that out there. A lot of the YouTube channels I follow. Yeah, I'm a big Andrew Tate fan. Big Andrew Tate fan. I follow Andrew Tate. I follow a guy by the name of Matt Cross. I follow Corey Wayne. John Samez, the Bulldog Mindset is amazing. And I thought about doing a lot more stuff like Andrew Tate. It's just I'm not an expert on that, and I feel like it's kind of not my place. But these are all heroes of mine, and I say hero, and I mean it. A guy like Andrew Tate is important for men out there. You have to do everything that Andrew Tate says? No, you don't. But dude, you follow me on social media? Send me that link because I don't know who that is. Houston Texans go play tomorrow. I actually had the Texans winning in an upset, which would cause, if the Texans win and the Bears lose, the Bears would get the number 1 pick in the draft and be the first time since, I want to quote you, 1937. So, yeah. 24 hours. Yeah. Less than 24 hours for the Texans, 18. FYI, go to the woman that wants you. Don't go to the one that you want. Exactly. That dude, No Cap J, man, you're posting some quality. Let me give you an example. I was working at a place. I'm not going to say who it was. And there's 2 girls. One was just getting divorced, really had a thing for me, and was kind of like, giving signals out. There was some chemistry there. Then there was another girl who ended up bringing me cookies every day. She ended up getting dressed up, came to work. We worked at the same place, brought me some cookies and just stood there in front of me till I asked her out. So which one did I go out with? The one that was like, or the one who bakes you cookies and stands in front of you all dolled up, ready to go. And she was actually my last girlfriend. Yeah. And because she went the extra mile. Well, I broke up with her, asked the other one out, and then she gave me like a lukewarm response. And I said, nah, forget it. So, yeah. No, I will not. I'm only doing the Chiefs right now. I think next year I'm going to do more live streams and do more games because this is kind of an experiment. This was an experiment. And I'm really pleasantly surprised at, one, how much fun I had doing this. I had a lot of fun doing the live streams. I didn't anticipating it being this much fun. I honestly had no idea that people would want to tune in and watch. I really didn't know. I really didn't know. Next year, I'm going to do more than just Chiefs. Now, I know almost the whole Chiefs roster. I'm a little embarrassed to admit there was a few players for the Raiders. I forgot Sidney Jones signed with the Raiders, and so he made a play, and I got the player mixed up. They also signed some other players, and I should have done more research. The way my schedule is set up, it's my life, I'm not making excuses, but the way that happened was, instead of memorizing the roster and the depth chart, I was very up. I was up. I wake up and I just did the show. That was it. I got some. I set an alarm for 30 minutes before kickoffs. I got something to eat. I showered, took it, brushed my teeth, got dressed, and blah blah blah. But I'm going to do more live streams next year. This year, I'm only doing the Chiefs. So, women have options up to ass. It's dude, a woman. Listen, seriously, you can be a good-looking guy like me, and go to a bar, and it's like 50-50 or 20-80. You can be a 200-pound woman, be fat, go into a bar and say, "Hey, who wants to get laid tonight?" And that's it. So yeah, and that's why I kind of want to do more stuff for men, because I want to be able to have men that come in this community, not only to talk football, but hey, man, I want you to feel good about yourself, and I want men to be able to date the highest caliber woman that you can. So yeah. You doing the Jag? No, I'm not. I'm just kind of wrapping up because I saw some comments on here. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to get something to eat, and I'm going to I'm going to enjoy the Jaguars Titans game. I want to thank everybody who came on here today. I had some really great comments and some new people that came in. My girl, Hey Girl TV, she came on for a visit. Candy Bortnicker, one of my oldest friends. She is just amazing. I can't say enough good things about her. Her husband is my hero in life. I probably said something to her. Just watching, he may kick my ass later. He is my hero in life. He married a hottie in Candy, and that's just awesome. I watched her 2 daughters grow up. Both of them are married now and married awesome guys, and that's a good thing. So I would love to. I thought about doing more of that. It's just I'm not an expert on it, but I always want to bring. I want to bring more of that into it because guys like Andrew Tate have a big influence on me. I've been kind of tuning away from Fresh and Fit, but when they were first coming up, I was a big Fresh and Fit fan. Matt Cross, he has 2 YouTube channels that I watch every day. I tune into Matt Cross. Matt Cross, one of them's 33 Secrets. The other one's like Alpha Male. Tune into Matt Cross. The other guy that you mentioned, I do not know about. DM me or you got me on social media. Put a comment in there and I'll check out his channel. Matt Cross, Corey Wayne, John Samas, the Bulldog Mindset, Andrew Tate. I'm leaving a few out, but I've kind of tuned away from Fresh and Fit. Nothing against Fresh and Fit. But it's just not. To be honest, I like the Fresh and Fit more for the finance and the working out, but they kind of got famous for their videos with women. So, trust me, I'm 24, handsome, bit like an OC, and I started. Hey man, I'm here to help, man. I'm here to help, man. I'm here to help. And I might do more and more as my channel builds and everything gets better. But yeah. Look up How the Beasties on you. DM me the links. Yeah, yeah, so if you don't know Cap J, I'm assuming that you know everything, but if you don't, I found Myron Gaines when he was on Donovan Sharp's channel. I used to be big in the Donovan Sharp, and he said some things about finance and working out. And I'm talking Myron Gaines. I followed Myron Gaines before him and Fresh and Fit got together. So I was a big Myron Gaines fan. So when Fresh and Fit, I started following Fresh and Fit when they were at I think 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers. Like their live streams used to get like 100 or 200 people live, and that's when I started watching. And then I think I watched the very first episode. They started bringing women on. That they tried it out and it just exploded. And the one thing I loved about Myron, and now it's his show, but I saw the first time he told a girl, "Hey, look, if you're going to be disrespectful, get off." And then that just went viral. And but in the beginning, I loved Fresh and Fit. I watch some of their clips now and then, but I'm not I'm still subscribed, and I'm a huge. I don't know too much about Fresh, to be honest. I don't know too much about Fresh, but Myron, I followed for a couple of years. Got a lot of respect for Myron. I love a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff he said about finances, I actually take advantage of. There's some really brilliant stuff. But out of the YouTube channels that I follow on a regular basis, Fresh and Fit is off the rotation. Like I said, the Bulldog Mindset, I'll stand by. John Samas is awesome. Matt Cross, Corey Wayne's another guy that I've been kind of steering away from. Corey Wayne, I followed for several years, and he's amazing. Dude, you know I'm subscribing. You're on you know what? I might need to get on TikTok. If you start up stuff on TikTok, I will create a TikTok channel just so I can follow. Well, I've been thinking about doing it. Keys has a TikTok, and he told me it's more than him just dancing. So I've been steering away from TikTok, but maybe I need to get on it. So, hey, listen, I kind of ended with ranting about stuff that was not football, which is awesome, but it's time for me to go. By the way, if you don't mind, drop a comment. Please give me a thumbs up. And if you're brand new, man, hit that subscribe button. I go live every Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So join me on the live stream. I'll see everybody back later. Enjoy the playoffs.